Meet Kim Yoonji, 26 and surviving on a secret. She's a professional rented girlfriend. She becomes the perfect partner for hire. Through her work, Yoonji has discovered a bizarre world. She has uncovered a fascinating array of reasons why men seek her specialized services. The crushing weight of family expectations. They need a beautiful soulmate for high-stakes events. Since they are single, Yoonji plays the role. But that is just the beginning of it. Some clients have a darker motivation. They want to flaunt their status among their elite peers. They want an attractive date to make a splash. Currently, Yoonji is on a mission. She is acting as the lover for a man named 𝓢𝓱𝓮, but this date is a nightmare. 𝓢𝓱𝓮's friends are watching closely. They aren't buying the romantic act for one single second. The tension is suffocating. Yoonji tries to hide her fear with a forced, nervous laugh. Suddenly, 𝓢𝓱𝓮 leans in close. He demands she makes the performance much more convincing. He threatens her with terrifying intensity. Then, he smashes a glass bottle in pure rage. Using the jagged glass, he claims his friends are clueless about their supposed deep love. Yoonji freezes in horror. She realizes this man is far more dangerous than he looks. Pressured by his skeptical friends, 𝓢𝓱𝓮 orders her to amp up. To sell the lie, Yoonji delivers a sudden, daring lick. The show ends, and 𝓢𝓱𝓮's cold, arrogant mask instantly returns. He reminds her that his money buys her total submission. With a condescending poke, he brutally demeans her very soul. He sneers, calling her a shallow hustler, chasing easy cash. Then, he dramatically showers her with bills like she's nothing. Yoonji counts the cash stoically, unfazed by his cruel words. It's easy money for minimal effort, another win for her survival. She'll soothe her heart with warm, sweet fish-shaped pastries tonight. She feels suffocated in the agonizing limbo of her fading youth. Returning to her silent home, she seeks refuge in scrolling. Her heart is set on a glittering, high-end Seoul apartment. Through marriage or hustle, she will claim that luxury life. Social media confirms that her peers are living her dream. Even her old crush has attained a legendary level of success. She fights despair by focusing on her hard-earned, growing savings. Every gourmet date meal is fuel for her ultimate penthouse dream. Suddenly, her phone vibrates. A new client named Moonan appears. He's breathtakingly handsome, which only triggers Yoonji's deepest suspicions. Why would a man this perfect pay for a girlfriend? Behind that flawless face, she knows a secret must hide. She recalls past clients whose beauty masked truly bizarre secrets. Wary of predators, she plays it safe. Yoonji tests him first, ensuring her new client is actually normal. After some tense banter, sparks fly. They strike a deal and dive headfirst into their fake romance. The day arrives. Yoonji transforms into a goddess to meet her mysterious employer, the handsome Moon Sun-hyun. Their eyes meet, and she's stunned. His visuals are god-tier, a cold, heart-thumping masterpiece in the flesh. He's a stoic man of few words. He leans in, reminding her, "Remember, we're lovers for today." The charade officially begins. He takes the lead, driving her toward a destination shrouded in mystery. The route looks strangely familiar. Panic and hope collide as he heading to the legendary Seoul apartments. Her heart races as she probes for answers. Is she finally stepping into the world of luxury? They arrive at a high-end bistro. Its opulence is breathtaking, yet he remains unfazed, his wealth radiating naturally. As they exit the luxury car, San reveals their destination, Venice. Yoonji freezes, already knowing its legendary reputation. Her intimate knowledge of the elite spot leaves him suspicious. How could a girl like her know this hidden gem? She hides behind a lie about urban architecture. Coldly, he reminds her, "Stick to the script. You're my girlfriend tonight." That command sends a chill down her spine. They enter, only to be intercepted by a woman with eyes like daggers. This mysterious woman interrogates San, her jealousy flaring. She clearly didn't expect him to move on so quickly. San remains ice cold. "I'm just following your orders," he retorts. "You wanted to meet my new flame, didn't you?" The woman sneers, doubting a man like him could find a replacement so fast. Her gaze burns with utter disbelief. To seal the lie, San pulls Yoonji close and declares her the love of his life. The ultimate performance begins. Electricity surges through Yoonji's skin. She knows it is just business, but her heart begins to race uncontrollably. Unable to bear the sight, the woman snaps that San's presence has ruined her appetite. The tension is suffocating. She storms out, leaving a trail of bitterness. The truth hits like a truck. She is actually San's former lover. This shocking twist leaves Yoonji reeling. The drama of the elite world is far more dangerous than she imagined. Overwhelmed and breathless, she retreats toward the restroom. Her mind is a chaotic storm of secrets and lies. Walking through the grand hallway, the crushing weight of her reality sinks in. She is back at Serial Apartments. Is this a dream or a nightmare? Being back in this fortress of wealth feels surreal, but fate isn't finished. Destiny takes a sharp turn when she collides with another socialite. Shock paralyzes her. She's been recognized by a ghost. Luna? From the 130th floor? The name echoes. Her mask of anonymity is beginning to crumble. She didn't learn about cereal from videos or magazines. Her knowledge is far more intimate, born from deep history. 1 year ago, this was her kingdom. Yoonji wasn't just a guest. She was the princess of this building. Wealth once flowed like water through her life. Her memories drift back to the golden days of her youth. In those days, she lived the high life. Now, her old friend pesters her with questions about her disappearance. Hoping her fall from grace remains secret, Yoonji mentions her family's financial collapse and their desperate scatter. Ruin forced them into the shadows. She severed every tie, changing her number to bury her former identity. She ghosted the world, vanishing for an entire year. But returning to Serial Apartments felt like a forbidden dream. The girl offers a lunch date to reconnect, unaware that Yoonji is now struggling just to survive the day. Panic flares. Yoonji politely declines and flees back to her table, her heart thumping against her ribs. She finds San drowned in sorrow, tears staining his face. She intended to leave, but his vulnerability stops her. Their contract was over. Yet, seeing this powerful man shattered triggers a sympathy she didn't expect to feel. Concern overrides her logic. She whispers words of comfort, promising him that a better love awaits in the future. He remains agonizingly silent. Thinking she is unwanted, she leaves her business card behind a lifeline for him. "Call if you need a friend," she says softly. But as she turns to walk away, a force stops her. He seizes her wrist, desperation in his eyes. He begs for more time, offering a king's ransom for her. She tries to decline, but then he drops a bombshell. He resides in the elite Serial Apartments himself, specifically the 130th floor. He has moved into her old sanctuary, the very home she lost. Is this destiny calling? She agrees to follow him, stepping into the elevator toward a past she thought gone. They arrive, and he offers a drink. But Yoonji's soul is wandering through the halls of her stolen memories. A year has passed, yet the penthouse remains a shrine to her former life. Nothing has changed here. Time is frozen here. Every piece of furniture stands exactly where she left it. He hands her a glass. She sips the wine, her eyes landing on a painting she once gifted her mother. A ghostly blemish remains. A wine stain on the carpet, a tiny scar from her past. San watches her, sensing the weight of the moment. He apologizes for the impulsive invitation, promising her that this desperate vulnerability is not his usual self. "I am not usually like this," he murmurs. But as the wine flows, the air between them crackles. The tension becomes electric. Seeking escape, San heads to freshen up, leaving Yoonji alone with her haunting past. She stands in her old home, wondering if this fake relationship was always a trap set by fate. While he's in the shower, Yoonji prowls her former home like a ghost, her eyes landing on a cold set of knives. She grips a blade, a dark impulse whispering that she could take her life back by force, but her heart falters. Fear chills her as she realizes her mind is fraying at the edges, a desperate struggle for sanity. She clings to the hope of her psychiatric session tomorrow just as the bathroom door finally swings open. San emerges fully clothed, his sudden distance catching Yoonji off guard and leaving her utterly baffled. She tries to pull him back into the heat of their bedroom, but his gaze has turned icy and hesitant. Despite her persistent charms, the fire in his eyes has died out, replaced by a strange, sudden apathy. He dismisses her with a promise to call later using her business card, effectively showing her the door. Back in her cramped reality, Yoonji swallows her pills, trying to drown out the echoes of her former life. The thought that a stranger now breathes in her old sanctuary haunts her every waking moment. Why hasn't he changed a thing? The house remains a perfect museum of her stolen memories and furniture. Desperate for answers, she prepares to call her mother, her mind racing with a dangerous new scheme. A vow takes root in her soul. She will seduce San and make him her boyfriend at any cost. Reclaiming that house is her only path to survival, and she'll play whatever part is necessary to win. The next day, she enters the clinic, a routine she's endured for a year to battle her deepening shadows. Under the doctor's steady gaze, she confesses the terrifying darkness that clawed at her heart recently. She admits to holding the knife, imagining a world where she could simply carve her problems away. These violent impulses are growing louder, fueled by a shocking revelation about her beloved former home. Her rich client is the one living there, a twist of fate that has pushed her to the brink. This obsession with her lost palace is driving her toward a gamble that could destroy everything. The psychiatrist questions if her urge to harm stems from this desperate need to go back in time. She confirms it with a chilling smile, laying out her plan to trap the man in a web of love. He warns her that this fixation is a poison, urging her not to let one single goal blind her. Yoonji snaps back, claiming she's not just obsessed, but merely looking for the most efficient way home. She acknowledges she could work harder to earn her way back, but the mountain feels too high to climb. Though his words are heavy, her strange affection for the doctor makes her at least pretend to listen. Leaving the office, she dials her mother to dig for secrets about the seizure of their high-end apartment. She needs to know if their luxury belongings were truly swallowed up by the new owner of the house. Her mother confirms the bitter truth. The new tenant claimed everything because it was all brand new. When Yoonji asks for the tenant's identity, her mother remains in the dark, lost in their family's ruin. She masks her burning curiosity as casual interest before ending the call, her mind spinning with San's image. Anxiety begins to gnaw at her as the silence from San grows deafening, making her regret her hesitation. Just as despair sets in, her phone vibrates with a notification that shatters her expectations completely. It's a new client request, but the name on the screen is impossible. It is her own doctor, Yasong. She stares at the screen, heart racing as she wonders what game her psychiatrist is playing with her. He wants to meet tomorrow, a request that blurs the lines between professional help and personal desire. Could her doctor be stepping out from behind his desk to join her complicated, dangerous world? Before she can breathe, a second call from an unknown number rings through the tense silence. It's San, demanding they meet at the apartments tomorrow at 6 sharp, his voice full of command. The timing is a disaster. It is the exact same hour her doctor requested for their mysterious meeting. She tries to negotiate for an earlier slot, but San is unyielding, ending the call with cold finality. Sensing a storm brewing, she frantically texts San about her prior commitment, hoping he will budge. But the man is a wall of stone, refusing to move even a minute from his chosen golden hour. He suddenly throws a massive sum of money at her as a bribe, a move that leaves her speechless. Insulted yet intrigued, she wonders if he truly thinks her soul is just another commodity for sale. Yoonji's mind is a storm of confusion. Reclaiming her house is her only mission now. Yet, she's drawn to the mysterious doctor. Memories of her past begin to resurface painfully. She recalls saving her mother from total ruin. Ever since, she's been living on a knife's edge. Suddenly, a message from San breaks the silence. He's ready to meet, and her heart races. The next day, Yoonji heads to the meeting. She's walking straight into the lion's den today. She hides a secret weapon in her bag. Survival requires playing a very dangerous game tonight. This is her gamble for her family home. Business and pleasure are about to collide dangerously. Don't catch feelings, she warns her racing heart. In this contract, love is the deadliest mistake. She steels her resolve against his magnetic pull. She can't afford to fall for her benefactor. San's private penthouse is the chosen battleground. Is he planning something bold? She wonders nervously. She imagined a scene of wine and seduction, but the 130th floor reveals a different reality. She finds San looking like a cold king. His sharp suit and slicked hair command total submission. This wasn't the intimate vibe she had prepared for. The air is thick with high-stakes corporate tension. He hands her a fortune in designer clothes. How much is this fake relationship costing him? He scrutinizes her eyes with a predatory gaze. Take out those contacts, he commands coldly. She insists her sapphire eyes are 100% natural. But San refuses to believe such beauty exists. He demands she hide them with black lenses. To him, her unique gaze is a liability. We're meeting my uncle, he warns her gravely. In his world, a formal mask is everything. He fears his uncle will doubt her authenticity. Her beautiful blue eyes must stay hidden tonight. The black lenses feel like a painful lie. Her vision blurs as she hides her true self. Then comes the shock. They are now engaged. The contract has escalated to a new level. Yoonji's secret hopes are crushed in an instant. She realizes her heart was dreaming of ghosts. They enter the 89th floor VIP sanctuary for dinner. The high-stakes performance is about to begin now. The uncle enters like a storm of authority. They greet him with perfectly practiced, fake smiles. They sit as the psychological warfare officially begins. The interrogation starts before the first bite. The uncle demands to know their future plans. He serves a lecture that tastes like ash. Obey my words, the old man growls coldly. He claims his cruelty is just family duty. Yoonji bristles at the man's suffocating arrogance. Why is he treating this like an execution? The insults fly before the meal even arrives. San stands firm, defending their fabricated bond. Trust is forged in fire, San declares boldly. He's determined to prove he is the successor. A sinister smirk plays on the uncle's lips. He turns his predatory focus onto poor Yoonji. Why marry a man as broken as him? His words are a trap designed to shatter her. Yoonji lets out a melodic, perfect laugh. Our love is stronger than your doubts, she lies. Suddenly, the uncle freezes in sheer shock. She looks exactly like Chairman Kim's lost daughter. But that girl had eyes of deep sapphire. Yoonji's eyes are currently as black as ink. He dismisses the thought, but suspicion remains. Something about her feels dangerously, hauntingly familiar. "We're finished here," he says with finality. The meeting ends as abruptly as a nightmare. He acknowledges the engagement with a cold nod. "I have no time for minor discussions," he snaps. He leaves, and they retreat to the penthouse. The 130th floor feels like a golden prison. San is exhausted, his mask finally slipping away. He pours a drink with trembling, tired hands. His tie is ripped off as frustration boils. The cold CEO is replaced by a man. Yoonji senses his pain and offers to leave. "Should I take off this expensive costume?" "Don't go," he pleads, his voice breaking. For a moment, the billionaire shows his soul. This is her chance to secure her survival. She agrees to stay in his golden cage. They share a drink in the silent moonlight. After one kiss, the contract feels like destiny. As the evening deepens and the drinks flow, a dangerous spark begins to ignite between them. But just as things heat up, a traumatic memory of his parents flashes through his mind. He abruptly pulls her into a cold embrace, apologizing and killing the romantic mood instantly. Taken off guard and annoyed, Yoonji wonders if this rich man has some hidden physical problem. Internally, San struggles with his secret, choosing to distance himself rather than show his vulnerability. He apologizes again for wasting her time, but his coldness cuts deeper than any blade. Desperate to save the night, Yoonji tries to get closer, but he pushes her away ruthlessly. She wonders if he truly despises her, but he remains silent, avoiding her gaze entirely. He calls a taxi, ending their night before it even began, leaving her feeling discarded. Back home, Yoonji breaks down in tears, her heart shattered by the weight of her loneliness. She fears her fluctuating emotions are just symptoms of the deep depression swallowing her whole. Is she really that unappealing? She stares in the mirror, questioning her very worth as a woman. She was always the beauty, the above-average girl with a body men would kill for. But now, she realizes the bitter truth. She is nothing more than a girlfriend for hire. Once, she lived a life of luxury and freedom, but her family's financial ruin changed everything. When the money vanished, life became a brutal survival game, leaving her with only her looks. In her desperation, she reaches out to her toxic ex, Taehoon, confessing that she misses him. He responds with a smirk, agreeing to meet only because he's feeling lonely and bored. But the conversation quickly turns dark as he tests her boundaries with a cruel proposition. He asks if she is finally ready to play, demanding she leave her hesitations at the door. He warns her that every man has needs, and he will not waste time on games. Yoonji stands her ground, refusing his advances, only to be met with a vicious insult. He mocks her mental health, telling her to go back to her clinic for more treatment. The line goes dead, leaving Yoonji to face the ghosts of their toxic, failed relationship. She remembers how their love ended in screams and arguments when she finally said no. Yet even now, the sting of rejection from a new man hurts more than she can bear. Regret washes over her. She wishes she had sought comfort from her psychiatrist instead of her ex. She feels like a fool, trapped in a cycle of bad choices and even worse men. For a long time, her doctor has been her only anchor, yet he sees her as a patient. The harsh reality is that she is just another case file to the man she admires. 1 year ago, her mind began to fracture, leading her down a dark and winding path. This mental disorder made her vulnerable, even to the strange words of religious cult recruiters. During that dark time, a chorus of distressing voices in her head whispered for her to end it. Now, she visits her doctor, the weight of her despair heavy in the sterile office air. She confesses her deepest fear, believing her life will reach its tragic conclusion this very week. She wants him to understand that these are not empty words, but a cry from her soul. The doctor offers his professional support, trying to guide her back from the edge of the abyss. He asks if she has been taking her medication, searching for a clinical solution to her pain. Yoonji feels a wave of gratitude. He is the only person who truly listens to her heart. She watches his hands as he writes, fascinated by the way he records her every word. A strange obsession grows as she admires the way he holds his pen and commands the room. He suggests increasing her dosage, hoping to stabilize her fragile and crumbling emotional state. But Yoonji secretly rejects his advice, convinced that pills can never heal her broken heart. As the weeks pass, the doctor remains her only constant in a world that keeps shifting. As time flows on, her feelings for him begin to evolve into a secret, burning obsession. Her heart begins to race, turning every medical checkup into a moment she secretly craves. In her chaotic life, he is her only anchor. Yoonji can no longer deny how much he matters. She starts questioning everything. Why does she see him as a man, rather than just her physician? But reality hits hard. He is the doctor, and she is just another patient on his list. Disturbed, she reaches for her phone. Should she call San, even though they have already parted ways? She sends a simple safety text, but to her shock, he actually picks up the phone immediately. She confesses her deepest fear that they might never cross paths again. On the line, San remains quiet. He tries to calm her, hinting that he is hiding a massive secret he needs to reveal. He wants to meet in person, but lacks the courage. Finally, he takes a deep, shaky breath. The truth spills out. San confesses to a dark crime from his past, his voice heavy with shame. With a trembling voice, he begs her to listen. Shocked, she rushes to his side without hesitation. He looks broken. She takes his cold, clammy hands, leading him inside to face his inner demons. He feels humiliated meeting like this, terrified she will see him as a pathetic, self-centered fool. But she doesn't flinch. She thanks him for his honesty, grateful he finally opened his scarred heart. San exhales, admitting he has struggled with this confession for what feels like an eternity. Finally, the ultimate truth drops like a bomb. He took the life of his own father. He recounts the nightmare how his father's drunken rage constantly pushed his mother to the brink of death. To save her, he had to intervene. A desperate struggle that left his father dead on the floor. It was self-defense, but the law called it manslaughter. He was sentenced to over a year. Now, on parole, he wears a hidden electronic ankle monitor. But what happened to his mother? Yoonji asks, only to hear the heartbreaking truth. His father's violence had already taken her life. She is gone. Despite his dark past, Yoonji feels a surge of pity and offers herself to him. They spend a passionate night together. As they lie close, she asks him to use her real name. "Call me Luna," she whispers. He drifts into an exhausted sleep, but Luna remains wide awake. Is this a real relationship now? Or just another contract? Her thoughts swirl in the dark. He pulls her closer, asking why she's awake. Suddenly, a phone vibrates, shattering the intimate silence. It's his uncle. San answers, confused why anyone would call at such a late, suspicious hour. His uncle is furious. He's been tracking San's movements through that restricted ankle monitor. The tone shifts. The uncle knows San went to see a lawyer behind his back. San stays guarded, claiming it was private. But his uncle's rage only continues to boil over. He demands to know San's plan, issuing a chilling warning that echoes through the room. "Stay away from that girl," the uncle snaps. "If San keeps this up, there will be consequences." San begs for a reason, but his uncle only offers a vague, ominous warning about Yoonji's true nature. Morning arrives. Luna's mind is racing. Is she finally secure back in these luxury Seoul apartments? Being back here after so long fills her with a desperate, greedy sense of anticipation. San walks in, and her eyes lock onto him. She flashes a warm, hopeful smile. She asks the big question, "What are we now?" But her words are met with a deafening silence. He leaves her hanging in a painful limbo. San eventually mumbles that he will call her later. He doesn't want to end it like this, yet he offers no commitment. Luna's frustration starts boiling. Does he think she's that easy? A doubt creeps in. Is she just a replaceable toy to him? To him, she's nobody. The realization that she actually dreamed of a future together hurts. Her disappointment turns to rage. She can't stay here another second under his cold gaze. She bolts for the door, giving him no chance to explain. She vows never to return again. She will get her own luxury apartment. This time, she will do it with her own money. Through bitter tears, she curses her own heart. She was a fool to think this was real. Our desperate lead storms into the psychiatric clinic. Even without an appointment, she crashes into her doctor's office. With tear-filled eyes, she begs him to stay by her side all night. It's her desperate, final wish. She reveals her heart was shattered when that mysterious client coldly rejected her. The pain is just too much. No words can heal her broken spirit. But time waits for no one. Fast forward to a week later. Reality hits hard. A rent notification pops up, and her bank account is officially at zero. She's completely broke. With her back against the wall, she has to work. Suddenly, her phone explodes with a barrage of notifications. Clients are desperate after her week of silence. After a moment of hesitation, she finally makes her move. She chooses to meet a new client, 𝓲𝓪𝓽𝓼. As she introduces herself, the air feels thick with intrigue. He's a man of action. Without a word, he gathers his things, signaling their date has officially begun. A flash of ink catches her eye. A mysterious tattoo. Is this handsome stranger connected to the underground gaming world? While walking, 𝓲𝓪𝓽𝓼 makes a bold move. "Can I hold your hand?" he asks with a heart-fluttering casualness. "No pressure if you don't want to," he adds. She wonders where this stylish man is leading her. Is this a group date? He looks like a high-fashion model. Surely a guy this handsome has women lining up. They settle into a chic restaurant. After ordering, the tension between them begins to simmer during their conversation. It starts with the basics, age and work, but there's an underlying curiosity in his gaze that she can't ignore. Then, he strikes a nerve. "Why did you choose this job?" he asks, peering into her hidden soul. The question hits like a physical blow. Unbidden tears sting her eyes as her tragic past threatens to overflow. Seeing her distress, he immediately retreats with an apology. Swallowing her pride, she admits it's all for the money. Survival is her only goal. Their night continues at another spot, the atmosphere growing more intimate with every bite. Why would he ask something so deep? Just as he prepares to explain his motives, she cuts him off. "Stop being so formal. Just call me Nuna," she suggests, breaking the ice with a playful, sisterly charm. His cute reaction warms her heart. She wonders if a younger brother would have felt this endearing to have around. This triggers bittersweet memories of her estranged brother in America, a connection long since severed by time and distance. The alcohol begins to blur the edges of reality. He leans in close, whispering that she's becoming more beautiful. "Every time I look at you, you're more stunning," he confesses. Their moonlit walk feels like a scene from a drama. Nervous, but determined, he begs for another chance to see her. "Please, don't say no," he pleads for her number. He's desperate for a connection. Later, when the client returns home, the mask of the polite boy finally slips. A friend starts trash-talking Yoonji on the phone, but Sioharu's reaction is instant and terrifyingly protective. He snaps. He threatens to crush anyone who dares to disrespect her. His obsession is starting to show its teeth. Meanwhile, Yoonji tosses and turns in bed, her mind a chaotic mess of regret and lingering alcohol. Sleep is impossible as memories of her past encounter with San haunt her thoughts like a ghost. *buzz. A new request arrives. Her heart stops. The client is her own therapist, Dr. Yu. What are the odds? She carefully prepares for this professional turned personal encounter. Fate is pulling them together in the strangest of ways. She's stunned. Seeing the usually stiff Dr. Yu in casual clothes makes her heart skip an unexpected beat. "I'm your girlfriend for today," she announces. She's an elite professional in the secret world of companionship services. It's a blind selection process. While she knows her clients, they have no idea who is behind the profile. Dr. Yu is frozen in shock. He never imagined his own patient would show up as his hired date. "We can't do this." He immediately tries to cancel, paralyzed by the ethical nightmare of dating a patient. She challenges him. Why did a man like him need to hire a girlfriend? She truly wants to help him. Her sincerity pierces his professional armor. Caught off guard, the doctor finally falters and gives in. "Let's get coffee," he mutters. Yoonji agrees, baffled by how she suddenly crossed the line into his private life. Over lunch, they fall into a strange rhythm, discussing her past life as a spoiled, high-society heiress. Suddenly, his phone rings, shattering the moment. He steps away, leaving her alone with her thoughts. While waiting, a familiar voice drifts from a nearby table. The words being spoken feel terrifyingly familiar. She turns slowly, her heart pounding. It's San's uncle. The past is colliding with the present in a shocking twist. Eavesdropping on the whispers, Yoonji realizes San's icy rejection was merely a mask for deep affection. After his call, the doctor returns to find only a hollow silence where Yoonji once stood. She had vanished into the night, leaving a desperate note filled with apologies and lingering regret. Driven by instinct, she sprints to San's estate while he sits inside, sensing her approaching presence. Trembling before his door, she fears her constant intrusion has finally exhausted his patience and heart. The lock clicks. San pulls her into a sudden, warm embrace that melts all her biting insecurities. Amidst their intimate tension, San slips away to wash up, leaving Yoonji alone with her thoughts. Her eyes find a familiar painting on his wall, a masterpiece she once created for her mother. As she gazes at her past, San reappears. Her heart hammers against her ribs like a drum. He questions her interest in the art, sparking a frantic fear that her secrets are finally exposed. Instead, he praises the amateur work, admitting its simple beauty brings him a strange, daily peace. It's his most cherished possession. Then, with a heavy sigh, he reveals a devastating, hidden truth. His rejection wasn't coldness. His powerful uncle had forbidden him from ever holding her hand again. It wasn't a lack of desire, but a cage built from family duty and cruel, elite threats. Yoonji nods, already scarred by the uncle's public arrogance and the warnings he spat at her. San bows his head in shame, agonizing over the shadows his family has cast upon her life. She mourns their stolen freedom, her heart breaking for a love that must live in darkness. But she refuses to break, her resolve hardening against the obstacles blocking their fated path together. "We must meet in secret," she implores, choosing the thrill of danger over losing him forever. They strike a pact. Their sanctuary? the elite 130th floor of 𝓓𝓪𝓽𝓲𝓷𝓰 Apartments, a penthouse fortress where their contract love transforms into something dangerously and beautifully real. To survive this high society game, Yoonji will navigate these shallow waters with her heart as collateral. Suddenly, a heavenly aroma fills the air, snapping her back to a blissful, domestic, present moment. Following the scent, she finds her billionaire boyfriend skillfully commanding the kitchen like a pro. She stands frozen in shock. She never imagined this cold prince possessed such refined culinary mastery. San smiles warmly, ushering her to the table like royalty while promising a feast for two. Dazed by his kindness, she settles in, her appetite growing as she watches him move gracefully. The atmosphere is sweet, yet she desperately searches for words to keep this dreamlike morning alive. They discuss his high-stakes world, a corporate battlefield that demands his presence at 9 o'clock sharp. With a grateful heart and a full stomach, she whispers her tender farewells for the day. Riding the bus home, she smiles, savoring the lingering taste of their unexpected, quiet morning together. But the peace shatters when a frantic message from her workplace blinks across her phone screen. It is Haru, demanding an urgent meetup tomorrow, and Yoonji's heart sinks with heavy hesitation. She tries to decline, but Haru lures her with mysterious secrets and the promise of luxury. Trapped by curiosity and professional obligation, she finally yields and agrees to the suspicious encounter. Entering her home, she gasps her toxic ex-boyfriend, Taehoon, is already waiting inside like a ghost. He gestures toward her bedroom with chilling familiarity, his presence an unwelcome shadow from her past. Memories from 8 months ago flood back, reminding her of the broken dreams they once shared. They once planned a life together in a house filled with love, before poverty destroyed everything. It was Taehoon who first suggested she become a girlfriend for hire just to survive. He sold her dignity as a career choice to escape the crushing weight of their debt. Now, he flaunts his new wealth, tossing luxury car keys as proof of his sudden success. He claims her bathroom as his own, ignoring her clear discomfort with arrogant and cold indifference. Ignoring her protests, he storms inside, treating her sanctuary like his own personal, private playground. Moments later, the steam clears, and Taehoon emerges, ready to reclaim the life he abandoned. Taehoon asks for a change of clothes before boldly claiming her bed for himself. Taken aback by his audacity, Yoonji draws a sharp line between them immediately. He claims he avoids taken women, yet reaches for her hand with a lingering gaze. Asking about her lover, he makes a daring move to spark a flame. But Yoonji, fueled by iron resolve, coldly extinguishes his unwanted advances. Her rejection is absolute. Yet Taehoon only smirks at her defensive walls. He mockingly questions if she is still guarding her heart against true romance. Her reply is a sharp blade, affirming her loyalty to a superior man. She boasts of a partner who resides in the prestigious Seoul Apartments. Unfazed, he sneers that she is merely trapped in a gilded past. He claims she is clinging to faded glory while ignoring her future. Dismissing the visit as a waste, he mentions his own creative pursuits. With a final, haunting creak of the door, he vanishes into the night. Left in the silence, Yoonji seeks distraction in the digital world. Suddenly, a devastating headline shatters her fragile peace of mind. The news is a dagger to the heart. Her mother's empire has collapsed. The makeup company's ruin hits her with the force of a tidal wave. Before the shock can settle, her phone vibrates with a new life. It is San, offering a movie date to light up her darkening world. Elsewhere, the artist Haru is drowning in a sea of creative stagnation. A message from Yoonji acts as a lifeline, breaking his intense focus. As she arrives, the air between them shifts with a warm electricity. Haru is struck by her radiance, seeing her as a divine vision. Her presence leaves a mark on his soul he cannot easily erase. Seeking inspiration, he leads her to the sanctuary of his private studio. There, he reveals his identity as an artist struggling for perfection. He confesses his failure to capture the natural flow of human grace. The date was just a pretext to witness her beauty up close. With a trembling heart, he asks to sketch her elegant form. He offers her an escape, not wishing to make her feel pressured. Intrigued by his passion, Yoonji agrees to become his living muse. Nervous, he presents the final sketch, fearing her cold judgment. She is breathless, stunned by how he captured her soul on paper. Reversing the roles, she takes the pencil to sketch Haru instead. Her hidden talent blooms, even after years of burying her skills. Playfully, he vows to keep her masterpiece as his daily inspiration. As the clock ticks down, Yoonji prepares to return to her reality. But Haru stops her, claiming they have one final minute together. He plucks up his courage, asking for a single, fleeting hug. She accepts, and for a moment, the entire world fades away. Yet the contract is firm. She ends the embrace as time expires. The touch leaves a lingering spark that Yoonji desperately tries to ignore. Shaking off the peculiar emotions, she bids him a swift farewell. She reunites with San for their date, but her heart is elsewhere. Sitting in the dark theater, she remembers her hatred for romantic films. She was only there for him. Lost in thought, the movie became a flickering blur. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. San turned his gaze, locking eyes with her. Her heart skipped a beat. Beneath that cold exterior, she saw a side, undeniably cute. The screen faded away. She leaned in, whispering that they should escape this boring theater. He didn't hesitate to agree. Their night was about to take a dramatic turn. They arrived at a nearby motel. Yoonji offered a drink, sensing his lingering unease. She reached out to soothe him, but in a clumsy twist of fate, her hand slipped. The drink splashed across his shirt. Panicked, she scrambled to find tissues for the mess. While she frantically cleaned, San decided to wash away the spill in the shower. Surprisingly, Yoonji followed him inside. The air grew heavy with sudden, heart-racing intimacy. As they settled in, Yoonji felt parched. San, ever the gentleman, went to get her water. That's when she saw a mark on his neck. Guilt washed over her as she apologized. She was mortified. San just smiled, suggesting she use her makeup to hide the evidence. He had nothing on hand, so she grabbed her own. But as he held it, he froze. The brand name triggered a memory. Was this why his uncle warned him? Doubt clouded his mind. He looked at her, his voice dropping to a serious tone. "Have you lived in Sequel Apartments?" She shook her head, confused by his sudden interrogation. San quickly deflected the question. He claimed it was just a strange hunch, nothing more. Yoonji felt the wall go up. She didn't dare push further and risk exposing her secret. She dropped the subject, offering him more makeup. A small gesture for a complex man. He almost refused. How could he tell her he owned a global beauty empire? Eventually, he accepted. On the drive back, the weight of exhaustion finally settled in. "Get some rest," he murmured. Then, he asked about her life behind the mask. She lived a simple, grueling life. Then came the question, "Can you quit that job?" Her refusal was instant. Poverty didn't give her the luxury of walking away from money. She knew the world judged her. But survival didn't care about dignity or social status. Yet, she didn't regret it. Because this rental job had brought her to him, San felt a sharp pang in his chest. He realized he meant everything to her. At her doorstep, the night almost ended. Until she turned back for one final kiss. She vanished inside, leaving him breathless. His heart was racing, and he couldn't deny it. His feelings were becoming impossible to hide. Next day at work, he was idolized. His leadership was legendary. No one dared call him a silver spoon heir anymore. He had silenced every critic, but a shadow was loomed over his golden success. The chairman was calling. His uncle was coming to settle a dark score. Alone, he stared at her makeup. Was he just being paranoid about her mysterious past? Surely, it was a coincidence. He prayed his suspicions were completely unfounded. Then, the storm arrived. His uncle demanded an audience with the young vice president. San finished his meeting and faced the lion. The office air turned ice cold. "This is a joke," the uncle sneered. He couldn't accept San's rise to the top. A killer shouldn't lead this company. He was determined to destroy San's future forever. San remained unfazed, like a mountain. "I have no interest in your throne," he replied. He rejected the crown immediately. This wasn't business anymore. It was a declaration of war. San walked away, leaving him fuming. Behind him, a scream of pure rage erupted. The uncle watched him leave, eyes full of malice. He would crush any obstacle, even if he had to strike down his own father. Because the uncle's secret was, the mastermind behind his father's murder had played a deadly game, framing San and shattering his life forever. Yoonji's nerves are on edge as she arrives for her appointment, her first visit after their disastrous date. Anxiety gnaws at her. Will he act like nothing happened, or will the air be heavy with unspoken words? She takes a deep breath, vowing to remain professional and mature despite the chaos swirling in her chest. Entering the office, Yoonji immediately apologizes for her chaotic behavior during their previous awkward encounter. To her surprise, the doctor is calm. He gently reassures her, acknowledging she surely had a reason to flee. He admits his own guilt, confessing that taking a patient to a cafe was a lapse in professional judgment. Realizing his mistake, he looks at her with sincerity. Yoonji is stunned by his humble and honest admission. She hangs on his every word as the handsome doctor continues his confession, revealing his own inner conflicts. He admits he tried to buy a shortcut to emotional intimacy, a move that felt like a transaction. He quickly reassures her, praising her immense potential. She is still young enough to choose any destiny she desires. Driven by curiosity, Yoonji asks the golden question, why did a man like him need a fake girlfriend? After a heavy silence, he reveals the tragic truth. His world is crumbling under the weight of duty. His father is dying and wishes to see him married. He only hired her to capture fake wedding photos. Guilt washes over Yoonji. Moved by his plight, she makes a bold offer to take those photos together. This isn't business. She clarifies that this offer comes from her heart, not from her paid rental service. Dr. Yu is speechless with gratitude. He asks for a moment to process her sudden and generous kindness. Yoonji agrees, her heart fluttering as he thanks her again while setting the date for their next encounter. Leaving the clinic, she hopes he accepts. Being a good person feels right, but her heart wants more. She's hooked on the idea of him falling for her. Suddenly, a hand grips her shoulder, breaking her daydream. A stranger asks if she's Hang's girlfriend. Confusion strikes until she remembers a face from her rental job. The man sneers, claiming Hang always brags about her. He can't believe a girl this beautiful would date him. He refuses to believe her denial, accusing her of playing games and lying to his face with a smirk. The harassment escalates until Haru appears like a hero, stepping in to block the rude jerk's path. Haru's advice is simple. If a creep bothers her again, she should deliver a swift kick to the shins. Yoonji thanks her savior and asks about the academy. Haru turns red, his cool exterior suddenly cracking open. With a shy smile, he admits he's studying webtoon production, chasing a dream against all the odds. They head to a cafe, where the conversation turns to the harsh reality of life in college. Haru reveals he never wanted corporate life. He even got a tattoo as a mark of his rebellion. When asked about his dreams, Haru's eyes light up. He wants to be a legendary webtoon creator. He pours his heart out, detailing his struggle against his parents' wishes for a safe and boring career. He skipped college to sharpen his skills for 2 years, but progress remained a distant and painful dream. Constant failures led to fights with his family, yet he refuses to surrender his passion for the arts. Yoonji wonders if he sought her for inspiration. Haru panics and apologizes, fearing he's offended his new friend. She reassures him that only the previous harasser truly upset her. Their bond begins to deepen significantly. Fascinated by his world, Yoonji offers to help him craft a story after seeing his impressive artwork. Haru hesitates before warning her. His webtoon is rated 19+, casting a sudden tension over the table. They aren't kids, they know the score. Haru thinks she's just being polite to spare his artist's ego. Haru wonders how to explain that his spicy story involves an elf and a demon lord's forbidden romance. Sensing the awkwardness, Yoonji offers a way out. She can write a fresh story for him to draw instead. Haru worries she's underestimating the craft, but she assures him that she respects the difficulty of storytelling. She pulls out her phone, offering to show him the secret plots she's been jotting down lately. Haru takes the phone and begins to read. His eyes widen in pure shock as he scans her work. He's stunned. The girl before him is a master storyteller, possessing talent far beyond his 2 years. He never saw this coming. Breathless, she asks for his honest opinion on the world she's created. With a glow of approval, he praises her talent. Yoonji vows to polish the script into a masterpiece. She boldly requests his digits for their collaboration. If they're partners, their connection must be official. Haru is dazed. A goddess is giving him her number. Hope flickers in his heart. Maybe this isn't a dream. Could this spark a real flame between them? Or is he just sketching another fantasy in his head? Their meeting ends, and he rushes off to his academy. Yoonji watches him leave, her heart finally feeling light. She dreams of a life free from the rental girlfriend trap. Success means never having to sell her time again. She remembers her humble start as a professional wedding guest. A simple job that spiraled into a strange career. The agency boss saw her beauty and upgraded her role. A girlfriend for hire, he said. She took the bait. Her ex-boyfriend's cruel words still haunt her memories, but she shakes off the darkness and dials San instead. She calls him, wanting him to be her first witness. "I'm finally doing it," she whispers with newfound resolve. For months, she's been honing her craft in secret. Her dream of becoming a writer is finally within reach. This isn't just a hobby anymore. It's her future, a real webtoon, born from her own blood and sweat. San is shocked. Does this mean her rental days are over? Relief washes over him when she confirms the news. His excitement eclipses her own, sparking a festive mood. "We must celebrate this victory," he insists with joy. He offers her anything she needs to succeed. She hesitates, then gathers her courage to ask a favor. She needs a sanctuary for her creativity, his study. "I just want to be near you," her heart confesses. Silence falls, stretching the tension thin between them. Finally, he agrees, opening his private world to her. He invites her over immediately to claim her space. His unwavering support feels like a dream she's chasing. He truly believes in her talent as a writer. As they hang up, Yoonji feels a chill of anxiety. Things are going too perfectly, it feels like a trap. Is a storm brewing behind this sudden streak of luck? She pushes the fear aside to enjoy the night. Later, she arrives at the luxury complex to meet San. She brings a fine wine as a grateful offering, but a forgotten purse gives her an excuse to stay. They plan to meet in the lobby for their date, a simple plan until fate decides to intervene cruelly. San appears, calling her name with a warm smile. He reaches for the wine, acting the perfect, doting gentleman. But as they turn to go, a cold voice stops her, a voice from her past that chills her to the bone. Her instincts scream that disaster has finally arrived. Since childhood, her gut feelings have never been wrong. It's Swan, a ghost from her days of high society glory. San looks between them, sensing the sudden, icy tension. Before she can speak, Swan strikes with a venomous tongue. "You don't belong here anymore." The girl sneers cruelly. She calls Yoonji pathetic for lingering around her old life. Fury blazes in Yoonji's eyes as she faces her bully. Pathetic? Yoonji's voice trembles with suppressed, raw emotion. The urge to scream the truth almost overcomes her. Her family lost everything, but that doesn't give Swan rights. No one deserves to be stepped on like trash. The words burn in her throat, demanding to be set free, but she realizes the trap San is watching her closely. If the truth comes out, her web of lies will shatter. She can't let him know she's no longer a socialite. She dons a fake mask and a charming, practiced smile. "Meet my boyfriend," she says, pulling San into the fray. She prays he'll play along with her desperate charade. To her shock, he wraps an arm around her protectively. Swan is stunned. "Wait, do you live on the 13th floor?" San nods, his presence commanding and undeniably wealthy. Swan's attitude shifts instantly into a fawning apology. She had no idea Yoonji was dating such a tycoon. Suddenly, she's begging for a chance to reconnect over dinner. The same girl who ignored her when she fell from grace. Yoonji plays the part, offering a cold, polite promise. Inside, she's disgusted by the blatant, shallow hypocrisy. They trade numbers, and the snake finally slithers away, but the encounter leaves a bitter taste in Yoonji's mouth. Swan has always been driven by a deep-seated inferiority, a shadow following Yoonji since their prestigious school days. Living on the lower floors, she envied Yoonji's penthouse view. The hierarchy of the sky dictated their bitter rivalry. In this world, the higher you live, the more you matter. Swan was just waiting for the goddess to fall. Now, the rumors will start spreading like a wildfire. Yoonji knows the building will soon whisper her name. The facade is holding for now, but the stakes just rose. Her survival depends on this fake love staying true. The confrontation with Swan left her heart racing. If her web of lies unraveled now, she'd lose her only ticket into San's world. San broke the heavy silence, suggesting they take the conversation upstairs. She could only nod, her mind a whirlwind of anxiety. With every step up those stairs, she practiced her defense. How could she possibly explain away the cracks in her story? Once inside, his concern was palpable. He asked if she was okay after her friend's biting remarks. She played it off as a simple bad mood. Then came the trap. He asked if she truly used to live in those elite apartments. Panic flared, but her mask didn't slip. A flat denial followed. She spun a tale about high school friends and frequent visits to the area, desperate to bury her humble past. She claimed she'd moved far away since those days. She had to convince him she wasn't some social climber stalking his neighborhood. San nodded, seemingly pacified, yet he couldn't shake the feeling that Swan's words were laced with a much darker intent. Seeing her distress, his protective side took over. He pulled out a keycard to his unit, a literal golden ticket to her survival. "Tell your friend you live here now," he commanded. He was granting her total access, reminding her the study was hers to use freely. Stunned, she stared at the card. Her fingers trembled as she took it. This was the breakthrough she had prayed for, yet it felt heavy. Memories of her family's suffering flooded back. It had been so long since she touched such luxury. Her brother's struggles flashed before her eyes. Overwhelmed by relief and guilt, tears spilled over. San immediately pulled her into a warm, comforting embrace, mistaking her desperation for gratitude. Eventually, exhaustion claimed her. She woke in his bed, the air thick with tension. As he leaned in, the atmosphere turned dangerously electric. She stalled, mentioning the wine she'd brought, but the fire between them was growing. Then, Yoonji made a move that changed everything. San recoiled, the heat in the room cooling instantly. He stared at her, confused by her sudden and risky suggestion. She claimed it was her safe day, but San wasn't a fool. He knew there was no such thing as a risk-free gamble with fate. Later, under the spray of the shower, Yoonji's heart hammered. Had she pushed her luck too far? Was her desperation becoming too obvious? She lectured herself to be satisfied with the apartment access. Greed would be her downfall. She needed to play the long game perfectly. Outside, San sat in contemplation. He noticed her purse and realized he hadn't returned it. As he reached for it, fate intervened. Her voice echoed from the bathroom, asking for towels. In his haste to play the perfect host, the purse slipped from his hand. The contents spilled across the floor, unearthing the dark secrets she'd hidden. He froze, his gaze landing on the damaged items. Just as he reached down to gather the evidence, Yoonji stepped out. The steam from the shower couldn't hide the sudden chill. She stood there, towel in hand, only to find San looking like he'd seen a ghost. In his hand was the ultimate betrayal. He held up the protections, the ones she had sabotaged with a needle. Her plan to trap him was now glaringly visible. His expression was a mix of hurt and suspicion. He demanded to know her intent. Panic surged as she realized her life was crumbling. She scrambled for an excuse, insisting it wasn't what it looked like, but San wasn't backing down. He wanted the cold, hard truth. With no exit left, she donned her finest performance. Masking her fear with a trembling voice, she spun a web of deception. She claimed her toxic ex had tried to force a child on her. She told San she'd stashed those sabotaged items to escape his madness. She shuddered for effect, painting a picture of a narrow escape. It was a masterclass in manipulation, fueled by her need to survive. San's heart softened. He couldn't believe a man could be so cruel. Yoonji doubled down, insisting this was why she finally broke free. She feigned disgust, wondering how anyone could be so reckless with someone they claimed to love. Her words hit San right where she intended. San gripped the edge of the bed. "Are you still in contact with him?" he asked, his voice low and dangerous. She fired back a firm no. Seeing his lingering displeasure, she knew she had to pivot before the interrogation continued any further. Desperate to change the subject, she brought up her work. She suggested they head to the study to look at her project, but a knot of dread formed in her chest. Deceiving him was becoming a dangerous habit she might never be able to break. In the study, San's demeanor shifted back to the supportive benefactor. He offered her every resource, his kindness feeling like a beautiful, golden cage. Swallowing her guilt, she thanked him. She prepared to reveal her secret passion, the novel she'd been pouring her soul into on her drive. She explained her dream of turning her writing into a legendary webtoon. It was a gamble on her talent, her only path to real freedom. When he asked about the art, she spoke of a friend who'd agreed to collaborate. She was building a future out of thin air. She offered him a seat as he began to read. San's eyes scanned the screen, his focused silence making her heart pound in anticipation. Finally, he spoke. He was genuinely impressed. The story had teeth, and he could see its massive potential as a comic. Eager to please her new master, she asked what genres he favored, but the wealthy CEO admitted he was a stranger to webtoons. Yoonji teased him playfully, masking her nerves with a smile. She joked that a man like him probably had no time for digital fantasies. San smiled back, the tension finally breaking. He insisted he wasn't just being polite. Her story had truly captured his interest. His partner, an aspiring webtoon creator, laughs off her jokes, but his heart remains heavy. He playfully scolds her teasing, earning a sweet peck. Yoonji beams, finding her contract boyfriend's reaction adorable. Yet, the shadow of her ex haunts him. He swallows his questions, fearing the pain they might bring. He vows to protect her smile. After all, her past isn't her burden to bear alone. Morning arrives with the scent of breakfast. Yoonji notes his bright mood, her eyes searching his face. "Did you sleep well?" she asks. San hesitates, caught in a whirlwind of conflicting, complicated emotions. Today, the iron shackle his ankle monitor finally comes off, a symbol of his dark, restrained past. No more boundaries. Now, he can finally take her to the edge of the world. Yoonji stares, unable to reconcile his warmth with the rumors of him being a cold-blooded killer. He doesn't look like a monster. Yet, she remembers her own dark moments of desperation. She'd held a blade in her mind before. To her, San's past wasn't terrifying, it was impressive. A dark bond forms. Later, San offers a ride, wanting to keep his precious prize close. She chooses solitude instead, needing to breathe. But as San drives away, the atmosphere shifts to ice. Between police check-ins and corporate warfare, his life is a minefield. Then, he spots it in the mirror. A tale. For 30 minutes, a predator has been lurking in his blind spot, waiting to strike. Bam! He slams the brakes, forcing a collision. The stalker emerges, feigning a clumsy insurance mishap. San snaps. He grabs the man's collar, his eyes burning. "Who sent you? Was it my uncle?" The man trembles, stammering excuses about errands, but San sees right through the pathetic, hollow lie. "When did you start?" San growls. He needs to know the map of this betrayal. The truth drops like a guillotine. They've been watched since the moment they left the house. Terror strikes. Yoonji. She's alone and vulnerable. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to a nightmare unfolding. Yoonji lies broken on the cold pavement. Screams echo as blood pools a cruel, sudden tragedy. San's blood runs cold. His uncle's venomous threats weren't just words, they were a death sentence. A flicker of memory. Young Yoonji asking why she had no father. A childhood shaped by absence. Her mother's pride was her shield. A strong woman needs no man, she had promised. But if you miss him, look in the mirror. You carry his blood in every feature. That mirror image is all she sees now as consciousness fades into a dark, suffocating abyss. San storms into the lion's den, rage radiating off him. His uncle just smiles, sickeningly calm. "What brings you here, nephew?" The old man feigns innocence, mocking San's desperate, frantic fury. San slams the evidence down the stalker's phone. The vice president's mask of civility begins to crack. "Need more proof?" San demands. The air in the office thickens with murderous, suffocating intent. "You targeted her because of me?" Silence from Yoonji's phone confirms his deepest, darkest fears. "Why her?" he roars. The uncle shrugs, playing a puppet master who's forgotten his strings. San lunges, his fist cratering the wall. "Don't you dare test me again," he snarls. A reminder of the incident, the reason for the ankle monitor flashes like a warning sign. "Threats won't find her," the uncle sneers. But San's gaze could pierce through solid steel. A fake apology follows, but the location of his beloved remains a haunting, agonizing mystery. San retreats, sensing a trap. Pushing harder might snap the thin thread of Yoonji's survival. "I won't be your pawn anymore," San warns. The era of his silent endurance is over. The uncle erupts, demanding respect for his age. A pathetic plea from a crumbling tyrant. "Know your place," the elder screams. Meanwhile, white walls and the smell of antiseptic emerge. Yoonji's eyes flutter open. A familiar, grounding warmth spreads through her shivering, battered frame. It's her mother's hand, a miracle in the midst of this sterile, lonely nightmare. "Mom, why?" Through a cracked voice, she searches for answers in her mother's tearful smile. "I'm here now," her mother whispers. The news of the accident had traveled fast, too fast. A brutal hit and run left her bleeding. Her mother's world shattered instantly. Fate intervened with a timely call, sending her mother racing to the ER. Surgery loomed. Yoonji stirred in a daze, her mind a fog of trauma. Pain flared in her neck. "Stitches," her mother whispered, eyes filled with dread. "Did they catch the monster?" Yoonji rasped, desperate for a shred of justice. The culprit had vanished like a ghost. No witness, no plate, only silence. 7 days of darkness had passed. She had been unconscious for a week. Her mother's composure finally broke. Tears of pure exhaustion spilled over her cheeks. Yoonji saw the toll. Her mother was now a ghost of her former self. Stress had withered her away. She looked gaunt since their last happy meeting. "Don't cry, Mom. Insurance will cover the bills," Yoonji lied to ease her. Her mother forced a smile, desperately shifting the focus to her daughter's health. As warmth filled the room, Yoonji's phone buzzed with a mountain of notifications. Her loved ones were spiraling. They must have thought she'd disappeared forever. One message burned. Haru wasn't asking anymore. He was demanding she call back. She dialed. Meanwhile, San was pacing like a caged beast, losing his mind. 1 week of silence. San stared at the door she no longer opened. Driven by a dark premonition, he hurried to her cold, dark residence. The empty house felt like an accusation. San regretted keeping his distance. The elevator doors opened. There stood Swan, the key to his mounting frustration. A chance encounter. He cornered her, his gaze sharp enough to draw blood. "Where is she?" he demanded. His obsession was becoming impossible to hide. Swan smirked coldly. "Luna? That girl disappeared from my life a year ago." They last met at the Sakal Apartments, the very penthouse San now owned. She was obsessed with the 130th floor, a gold digger chasing a rich dream. San's blood boiled. Swan tried to flee his rising, dangerous aura immediately. He seized her arm. "Tell me everything about her and that floor. Now." The truth was a labyrinth. Luna had been a phantom in those hallways. She lived there first. A hidden connection began to burn in the shadows. The puzzle pieces snapped. Every red flag he ignored now screamed at him. Why had he been so blind? Why did he want her lies to be true? He dialed his contact. "Investigate the previous tenant of my penthouse. Every detail. Their job, their debt, their current location. He needed the full truth tonight. "I need it now," he barked. Every second felt like a fresh betrayal. Across town, Haru finally heard her voice. The accident news hit him hard. "Which hospital?" He panicked. He couldn't bear another minute of being apart. "I'm leaving soon," she promised. "Let's just meet up once I'm discharged." "I miss you," he whispered. Yoonji froze. Since when was he this soft? She laughed it off, promising a reunion. Her survival plan was finally ready. A new studio. A fresh start. She was going to write her own future. She messaged San, "I was in an accident. I'm okay. Call me later." She stared at the screen. Why hadn't the cold billionaire replied to her? "I'm going back to the 𝓬 apartments," she resolved. The mystery ended today. But reality struck at the desk. The nurse's expression was cold and grim. "Insurance denied. You've defaulted on payments." Her survival was back at zero. Mom's voice trembles, asking how they'll survive the mountain of medical bills. The only hope? Insurance. But first, those unpaid premiums must be cleared. Desperate, Mom considers a loan. But Yoonji's heart sinks at the thought. She promised to leave that life the girlfriend for hire facade was over. But seeing her mother suffer, asking for help feels like an impossible wait. Suddenly, a notification pings. A new client named Shaq appears like a devil's lure. He offers 5 times her rate for a 5-day appointment. A lifeline she can't refuse. The money is tempting, yet a chilling sense of dread washes over her. Shaq's request is bizarre. "Just read to me until I fall into a deep sleep." Insomnia, he claims. Yoonji is stunned by the simplicity. Is it really just that? They arrive at a secluded place. She opens a book, ready to begin. But the words are filth, dark erotica. Her voice falters as discomfort turns into fear. He sees her hesitation and smiles. "We can try something much more intimate." He points to a drawer. She opens it, and her heart stops at the sight inside. "Stay until morning," he whispers, "and I'll pay based on your performance." Yoonji bolts from the hotel, breathless. Why hasn't San responded to her messages? Just as she considers going to him, a cold invitation finally arrives. She rushes over, but his home is shrouded in a heavy, suffocating darkness. She starts explaining her accident, but the air in the room is ice cold. Without a word, San hurls a book at her. "Open it," he commands, eyes blazing. Photos of her with Shaq spill out. Her secret life is laid bare before him. San's voice drips with venom. "How many more lies are you hiding behind?" He mocks her fake life at the 130th floor. Her facade is dust. Before she can speak, a sharp slap echoes. Shock turns into a roar of rage. Suddenly, she's in her doctor's office. Her clothes are drenched in a terrifying crimson. "I had no choice," she whispers eerily. "He was the one who pushed me." She tried to explain the misunderstanding, but he only returned her words with insults. "He called me homeless," she sobs. I think I might have hurt him." She stares at her trembling hands, searching for the stains of her sin. But the blood is gone, a mere delusion. Dr. Yu watches her with growing concern. The line between her nightmares and reality is fading. She's losing herself. Did she truly harm San? Before she can move, her world spins into blackness. Meanwhile, San receives a message. His manager found a post that changes everything. As he reads, the realization hits him like a physical blow. It's about her. Every memory of their confrontation flashes back. The truth behind her lies surfaces. She wasn't a rich socialite. Her life had been seized by debt and despair. She had lied to her friends just to survive, caught in a web of her own. Living a fake life in a penthouse while the world crashed down around her. San recalls her confession the date was nothing more than a desperate job. She needed the money for her brain hemorrhage treatment. Survival was her only goal. Defaulted insurance and a hit and run. She was drowning with nowhere to turn. Then, the darkest realization. San's own uncle might be the one who hit her. His uncle's surveillance was constant. The accident wasn't an accident at all. "I'll take responsibility," he vowed. But Yoonji had already fled into the night. The weight of his mistakes crushes him as the true story finally unfolds. Fate shifts as the patriarch enters, decreeing San the new corporate vice chairman. The scandalous ankle monitor is gone, clearing his path to the throne at last. "What of my uncle?" San asks. His grandfather's gaze turns cold as ice. That man abandoned his own blood to worship at the altar of heartless business. San's father was a monster. But 𝓬𝓱𝓮 is the true snake in the grass. He is a pathetic, incompetent fool who survives by spinning webs of cruel lies. He'll devour anyone for power. Beware, San, one day. He will aim for you. With your father exiled, the vultures are circling this golden corporate empire today. If growth was the only goal, the ruthless uncle would be the perfect heir. He is a shark, desperate to expand through extreme and truly dangerous measures. "But I want a better company, not just a bigger one," San's grandfather declares. Sometimes the right leader prioritizes the soul over the cold, hard profit results. "I'm not ready," San pleads for time, but the old man's patience is gone. "Decide now." Meanwhile, a breathless Yoonji is pulled back from death's dark door. Gasping for air, she trembles while her doctor desperately tries to steady her. He suggests further help, but she forces a smile through her lingering trauma. Declining the hospital, she flees, needing the safety of her own tiny sanctuary. She stumbles out, wondering if something scandalous truly happened with San that night. Her phone screams, "It's Haru. Are you safe? Have they finally released you yet?" He's had a devastating day and begs for her comforting presence right now. Panicked for his sake, she asks if he's facing some terrible new crisis. Haru only offers a heavy apology for burdening her on such short notice. "I'm coming!" She hails a taxi using the dirty cash from her last mark. The memory of that hotel room flashes back a bitter price for her survival. She never intended anything lewd. She was just a desperate girl hunting prey. One quick scam, one blocked number, and she escaped with her dignity intact. She reaches Haru's door, but the sight inside makes her heart stop instantly. There he stands, half naked and glistening, with only a towel draped loosely. "Sorry, I thought you were delivery. I didn't expect you this fast," Haru stammers. As he dresses, the dam breaks, and he pours out his soul's agony. Is it the webtoon? She vows to save his failing, dying artistic dreams. "My family wants me gone. They say I'm just a talentless, pathetic hack." Their words are poisoned daggers, mocking his struggle for the sake of art. They call it motivation, but it feels like a slow, agonizing death sentence. Yoonji watches him crumble. "I've survived that same hell," she whispers softly. She remembers the fall, the false accusations that burned her golden life down. From a mansion to the gutter, her family's prosperity vanished like a ghost. Her pride shattered as she realized her strength was just a rich girl's lie. Resilience was a luxury of the wealthy. Now, she only knows cold survival. "Stop," she cries. "Leaving home to chase your passion is true, legendary courage. Family should be your shield, not the monsters tearing your spirit apart daily. Even without a hit webtoon, you're a hero for fighting this hard, Haru." Her eyes blaze with fire. "I will help you craft a masterpiece, Haru." Haru gazes at her, breathless. She's become a radiant, resolute sun in his darkness. How can anyone be this perfect? Their hearts begin a dangerous, fated dance. Haru excuses himself briefly. Suddenly, the heavy alcohol hits Yoonji hard, and her entire world begins to spin. Dizzy and disoriented, she collapses onto the bed. Haru returns to find her sprawled out in a daze. He offers a taxi, but Yoonji refuses to leave. She trusts his nice guy image far too much. She believes he'd never cross the line. Little does she know, she is playing with fire tonight. Haru's gaze darkens. "I'm a man too," he warns. She just giggles, completely unaware of the rising tension. He wanted to go slow, but her teasing breaks his resolve. He leans in, his intentions finally clear. Elsewhere, San's manager delivers a classified report. It contains the dark, hidden truth about Yoonji's tragic past. San freezes while examining the photos. Realization strikes she is the heiress of the once great 𝓓𝓪 empire. Shock paralyzes him. 𝓓𝓪's total destruction was orchestrated by innocence, his own family's ruthless corporate machine. 1 year ago, the nightmare began. His father launched Innocence specifically to crush all beauty market rivals. They marketed purity while plotting a bloody corporate takeover. The irony of the name is absolutely sickening. San had questioned the aggressive expansion. He felt the cold, predatory ambition radiating from his father's eyes. His uncle had dismissed him like a child. He wasn't supposed to witness the family's dirty secrets yet. But his father insisted he watch. He wanted San to learn how to devour the weak without mercy. They used media manipulation to bury 𝓓𝓪 alive. It was a cold-blooded execution of a rival's dream. San remained a silent witness to the slaughter. He watched as they systematically dismantled Yoonji's happy life. When he finally mustered the courage to protest, his father just laughed at his naive moral compass. "You're too young to understand," he scoffed. "In time, you'll learn that power requires making bloody sacrifices." Now, San realizes the horror. He didn't just take her apartment, he helped steal her entire family's legacy. He feels like a monster's accomplice. Even as a listener, his silence helps seal her family's fate. He cannot outrun this guilt. He was there when the fatal decisions were made a year ago. Atonement is the only path left. Meanwhile, Haru and Yoonji share a dangerously intimate night together. Yoonji wakes up later, searching for Haru. The silence of the empty house sends chills down her spine. Anxiety washes over her like a cold wave. She begins to regret the impulsive choices of last night. Her thoughts spiral into a dark abyss. Suddenly, the door opens, and the heavy atmosphere shifts instantly. Haru reappears, beaming like a prince. He holds a stunning bouquet, looking more charming than ever before. With a wide grin, he confesses his heart. "Will you officially be my girlfriend?" he asks softly. In another world, the chairman stares out a window. He leaves Innocence's fate in San's shaking hands. Then, in a horrific twist, he leaps. A sickening crash echoes, ending the life of the family patriarch. At San's vice chairman inauguration, the atmosphere is electric. Everyone awaits the grand entrance of the chairman. San's gut twists with dread. His grandfather is never late. A dark omen hangs over the entire room. The doors burst open with tragic news. The chairman has jumped. Chaos erupts among the horrified guests. While the hall descends into madness, San's uncle smiles. He hides a sinister joy behind his fake mourning. He recalls the secret will. The old man had chosen San as the sole heir to the throne. That revelation had ignited a murderous fury within him. He refused to let a boy take his crown. The family legacy belonged to him alone. He had spent years lurking in his nephew's growing shadow. He had vowed to stop this at any cost. Rage burned through him, demanding a violent resolution. Was this suicide actually a calculated murder? The mystery remains locked behind the uncle's cold, dark eyes. At the funeral, whispers of conspiracy fill the air. Did the King of Beauty really jump alone? San stands amidst the mourners, heart shattered. He knows his grandfather would never choose a coward's exit. Tears stream down his face as he denies the truth. He senses a trap closing in around him. He wouldn't do this, San screams. But his grief is interrupted by the sound of approaching sirens. The police storm the funeral to arrest San. They name him the prime suspect in a murder case. Behind bars, San roars for justice. He demands to know how he became the villain of this story. The detective drops a forged will. It claims San threatened to kill the chairman for the family inheritance. San roars against the injustice as the tycoon prepares to appoint a new successor. Framed and cornered, he faces a detective who reminds him of his dark past. Now, his grandfather is dead, and the law suspects a cold-blooded corporate takeover. Tension explodes as San remembers his grandfather's chilling warning about his treacherous uncle. Desperate to survive this trap, he begs for one phone call to expose the truth. The wary officer suspects a hidden accomplice and hesitates to hand over the device. San demands to know his fate, but the detective only wants a murder confession. Determined to hunt the truth, San plots his survival while Haru confesses his love. As Haru pours his heart out, Yoonji is torn between her contract and this warmth. Though she loves Haru's comfort, her fake relationship with the heir complicates everything. In the heavy silence, she thanks him for the flowers, her heart a storm. Haru apologizes for the rush, sensing the invisible walls around her guarded heart. He admits he's just a struggling artist, lacking the wealth of her current boyfriend. Yoonji's mind spirals, weighing her mother's greed against her role as a professional lover. Choosing Haru means losing her survival shield, but he tells her to take time. He vows to become a successful creator so she can finally lean on him. With a gentle touch, he promises to wait. Fast forward 30 days into the future. Now, Yoonji and Haru are working side by side in his cramped apartment. She updates the latest episode, but a strange, heavy exhaustion begins to cloud her senses. Is it just stress? Her hunger grows into a bottomless and frantic craving. She begs for spicy pig's feet, but Haru is baffled by her massive appetite. They just ate ramen an hour ago, yet Yoonji feels like she's starving for two. Haru worries the stress is breaking her, but Yoonji claims she's never felt more alive. This creative life beats being a fake girlfriend, but her body is acting strangely. She opens her tracking app with trembling hands and her heart suddenly stops. She is 14 days late. The terrifying question remains, whose baby is it? Elsewhere, a broken San collapses in his empty home, haunted by his grandfather's ghost. 1 month has passed since the funeral, and the police have picked his life apart. Trapped under house arrest until his trial, he remains a prisoner of his own fate. San realizes with a pang of guilt that he hasn't reached out to Yoonji. He longs to see her, but legal wars and family secrets keep him chained down. He makes a desperate call to his lawyers, demanding they fight for his freedom. At the clinic, Dr. Yu sits in silence, his world about to be shattered. His mother calls with a dire warning. His father's health is failing rapidly. Amidst the chaos, he notices Yoonji has canceled her session, citing an urgent crisis. 2 weeks ago, his mother begged him to visit the hospital for his father. He must go now, as the shadows of his past are finally closing in. Fate is pulling them all into a web of secrets they cannot escape. San's determination blazes as he prepares to reclaim everything he has lost. Dr. Yu stares at the photo on his desk, burdened by a heavy secret. The hospital staff waits for his arrival as his father's life hangs by a thread. He scans the list of names, but Yoonji's absence haunts his every thought. Something is wrong, and he can feel the storm gathering on the horizon. The truth about the contract and the baby is about to explode. As the sun sets, a new and dangerous chapter of their lives begins. As Dr. Yu sat in deep thought, a sudden knock shattered the silence. Yoonji entered, bearing gifts and a warm, masking smile. She thanked him for saving her during that terrifying, suffocating bout of hyperventilation. She even brought a drink for the staff, her kindness hiding the storm brewing within. Noticing the doctor's distracted gaze, Yoonji grew worried. He quickly composed himself, ready to begin her therapy session. But then, Yoonji slowly slid a mysterious picture frame across his desk. As his eyes fell upon the image, his heart stopped. It was Yoonji, radiant in a wedding dress. "I paid for this myself," she whispered, a parting gift of gratitude for his unwavering kindness. Then came the confession. Her heart had crossed a line, blooming with feelings far beyond professional boundaries. She knew it was a forbidden love, a connection that could never be. Yet, she finally admitted it. She felt like a fool, but Dr. Yu remained calm. "It's called transference," he explained gently. Yoonji nodded, knowing the ethics. The wall between doctor and patient was far too high to climb. A romantic connection was strictly off-limits. However, her primary motive wasn't to win his heart, but to unburden her soul during this chaotic chapter of her life. Dr. Yu listened intently as he explained that these intense emotions are common. Transference often strikes during such deep, personal consultations. He then began a series of clinical questions to gauge her current state of mental stability. As the session ended, Yoonji vowed to overcome these feelings and regain her professional composure. But at the office exit, she paused. "I read something interesting," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "Can't a doctor and patient date 3 years after their professional connection officially ends?" Dr. Yu confirmed the fact, and with a bittersweet smile, Yoonji bid him farewell and vanished. But back in reality, a darker storm was brewing. Yoonji's world was about to be turned upside down. 14 days. She was 2 weeks late. The realization hit her like a blow. Was she pregnant? Desperation took hold. She even contemplated drinking soy sauce, anything to escape this terrifying, life-altering nightmare. Her mind raced between two men. Was the father Haru, or was it her complicated past with San? She stared at the marked date on her calendar, the red ink feeling like a countdown to doom. Despite the weight of her predicament, she knew she couldn't break down. Not before the big contest. Haru was pouring his very soul into his work, desperate to finally debut as a webtoon artist. This was his one shot at a dream. Yoonji grit her teeth, determined not to ruin his future. Pregnancy or not, she wouldn't let her chaos destroy Haru's ambitions. She had to stay strong. She picked up her pen, determined to finish the manuscript while supporting Haru's legendary rise. Late into the night, the monitor's glow was her only company. Haru eventually entered, his eyes worried. "Take a break," he urged, knowing she had been pulling exhausting all-nighters for days on end. But her creative flow was a raging river. Haru saw her dedication and realized he couldn't stop her. Trusting her genius, he headed to bed. The next morning, Yoonji shook him awake with a shout. "It's done! The story is finished!" Her eyes sparkled with manic energy as she offered the pages. Haru was stunned by her speed. As he read, his jaw dropped. The story was an absolute masterpiece. Success was guaranteed, but as he prepared the illustrations, Yoonji dropped a bombshell of a question. "Will you do me a favor?" she asked. Haru froze, shocked by the sudden gravity in her voice. "Something urgent came up," she lied. "I won't be here to review your artwork anymore. You're alone." Panic flared in Haru's chest. What urgency? A sudden, chilling sense of unease washed over his soul. The idea of her leaving felt like a permanent goodbye. He couldn't let her walk away now. "I'll go with you," he proposed. "We'll face it together." But Yoonji just gently squeezed his hand. "I must handle this alone," she whispered, urging him to stay and finish their shared dream. He asked where she was headed. Her answer chilled him to the bone. To the Seikol apartments. Meanwhile, at those luxury apartments, the obsessed San was drowning in a sea of frustrating documents. Without a shred of evidence, his mind kept circling back to the one woman he couldn't forget. Hunting for trial evidence, San is stunned when Yoonji suddenly appears. She's fuming, convinced he was ghosting her just like his father. He explains the chaos. He couldn't even reach for his phone. Then, with a trembling breath, she asks to hold his hand. She places a pregnancy test in his palm, her eyes searching. Results are uncertain. Monday's hospital visit will reveal the final truth. San pulls her close, whispering apologies for the fear she felt. He begs forgiveness for the hardships and the anxiety he caused. But Yoonji shatters the embrace, pulling away from his protective warmth. "The baby might not be yours," she confesses, ending their contract. Her walls finally crumble, and the tears begin to flow uncontrollably. San remains a rock. "It doesn't matter," he declares, eyes blazing. The shock lingers, but her safety is his only true priority. "We'll talk later," he insists. "Now, I just need you okay." She's stunned. Her rich protector hasn't changed a single bit. How can he say it doesn't matter? San battles his own heart. He has no right to be hurt. He was never truly hers. A sudden ringtone shatters the heavy air, breaking their fragile moment. His manager is calling with a lead on the chairman's estate. He briefs Yoonji on the crisis, forced to return to the battlefield. "Stay here," he commands. "I'll be back before you know it." At the office, the storm pauses, but the war is far from over. The manager asks to head up. San nods, ready for anything. Suddenly, a voice calls out Hyung. San freezes in his tracks. It's Haru. Why is he here in the middle of this mess? Meanwhile, Yoonji's mother wanders, her heart heavy with her daughter's pain. A stranger stops her, asking if she's the legendary CEO Kim. She denies it instantly, fearing debt collectors have found her again. But he's a lawyer, fighting for the vice chairman's innocent son. He needs her testimony to finally shatter the web of lies. Back at the office, San is racing against a ruthless clock. He asks Haru to wait, promising they'll speak once this ends. Whispers echo in the lobby. The disgraced heir has actually returned. Overhearing the venom, Haru decides to leave and reconnect later. San enters the chairman's office, hunting for one scrap of hope. It's empty. The investigation stripped the room of every secret held. He recalls his grandfather's words, the only man who truly believed him. He decides to save what's left, even if it's just sentimental. He packs the last remnants of his past into the car. Haru appears in the parking lot, cornering him for a private talk. They find a corner. Haru recounts the chaos of the morning. He couldn't focus. Yoonji's absence was a weight on his soul. He went for coffee, only to be stopped by a stranger. A neighbor from Unit 302, complaining about the trash. Haru apologized and fixed it, unaware of the storm coming. Digging through the trash, his breath hitches. A positive pregnancy test stares back at him. Yoonji's anxious behavior finally makes sense. 2 red lines confirm his deepest fears. Life just got complicated. Meanwhile, Yoonji is pacing nervously inside San's luxury apartment. She waits for his return, her eyes landing on a mountain of papers on his desk. Curiosity strikes. Could these documents reveal the secret life of her mysterious benefactor? Knowing nothing of his world, she decides it's time to uncover his true identity. Her fingers tremble while flipping through the files, searching for any clue about his job. A sudden revelation hits like a physical blow, leaving her completely frozen in shock. The truth is devastating. San works for the Innocents, the monsters who destroyed her family. Suddenly, the door clicks open. San enters, offering a warm apology for being late. He's brought a guest named Haru, excited to introduce him to his hidden roommate. "Luna?" San calls out, but only silence greets him in the empty living room. Haru finds the name poetic, wondering about the mysterious girlfriend San is hiding away. As he prepares to leave, San thanks Haru for moving his grandfather's heavy belongings. Before exiting, Haru pauses, his gaze lingering on the items they brought back. He asks to keep a single pen, wanting a memento of their late grandfather. Since work cut the funeral short, Haru clings to this small piece of history. Once he leaves, Yoonji emerges. She demands to know if he was hiding his identity. She points to the files. "Are you really working for our enemy, the Innocents?" Her mother warned her that the Innocents framed them and caused their total ruin. She prays he'll deny it, desperate to believe he isn't the source of her pain. Her hopes are shattered. San looks her in the eye with a heavy, guilt-ridden gaze. "I am the vice chairman of the Innocents," he confesses, destroying her fragile world. He admits the frame-up was real. His uncle used fake research to bury her family. San knew everything. He watched the injustice happen and did absolutely nothing to stop it. Overcome by shame, he collapses to the floor, begging her for a hollow forgiveness. Yoonji shows no mercy, demanding every dark detail of how they orchestrated the downfall. He spills it all how his father and uncle plotted to kill her family's legacy. Yoonji remains eerily calm. Elsewhere, Haru lies awake, haunted by the test in the trash. His mind races with the image of that positive result as he stares at the ceiling. He remembers his frantic call to Yoonji, gripped by a sudden, overwhelming sense of crisis. The uncertainty is killing him. He needs to know if his world is changing forever. Trembling, he redeals her number, desperate to find out exactly where she is. He finally confesses. "I found a pregnancy test in the garbage, Yoonji. Is it yours?" When she denies it, a wave of pure relief washes over his terrified soul. He tries to focus on his manuscript, but his computer screen holds a new shock. Recent search history shows someone was looking up pregnancy symptoms on his device. He stares blankly at the monitor until his phone vibrates with a demanding call. It's his father, barking orders and questioning why his previous calls were ignored. Haru makes excuses about his art contest, but his father dismisses it as trash. "Come to my office," he commands. "We need to discuss your future at the company." He shocks Haru by demanding he take over as the new vice chairman. The truth emerges, Haru's father is the very uncle who betrayed San's entire family. Haru refuses the position, but his father mentions a secret hidden in the will. The document is a lie, claiming San once threatened his own grandfather's life. Grandfather's cold distrust shatters their bond, forcing Haru into a desperate, lonely corner. The confrontation is delayed until they reach the office, driving Haru toward a breaking point. But at the office, his father is unreachable. Even San's line is completely dead. Trapped in a web of family betrayal and Yoonji's chaos, Haru's world starts to crumble. He retreats to his room, where the crushing weight of these secrets suffocates his heart. He grabs San's old pen, only to realize it is actually a hidden USB drive. Could this tiny device hold the explosive evidence San needs to finally survive this war? Meanwhile, San's lawyer secretly meets Yoonji's mother to reveal a shocking, high-stakes truth. He reveals that the vice chairman is being held captive on the 130th floor. Yoonji's mother snaps, certain that the Innocence Group manufactured lies to destroy her entire legacy. She knows Moon Sung-wook is the snake behind it all and demands the truth. The lawyer drops a bombshell. They have proof the broadcast against her company was totally fake. She's stunned. Why would Vice Chairman Moon San suddenly care about her ruined company now? It's all about President Moon Sung-wook. The battle lines have finally been drawn. This meeting is a mission to dig up enough dirt to bury the president forever. Back at the house, the cold San is kneeling before Yoonji, begging for her forgiveness. He confesses to being an accomplice in her mother's ruin, his heart heavy with guilt. Yoonji sees his pain and knows he wasn't the real monster pulling the strings. She admits she once craved bloody vengeance against everyone who made her family suffer. Her hatred was a fire that burned everyone, especially the man standing before her. But as they survived together, her icy resentment slowly melted into a forbidden, deep love. San captured her heart, making her dream of a world where they were just happy. She imagined a life where their families weren't enemies, and they could simply be together. She doesn't care about the past anymore, because her feelings for him are too overwhelming. With tears in her eyes, she reaches out to pull him back into her arms. San gazes at her, finally confessing that his heart belongs only to her as well. Later, as she sleeps, San watches over her with an obsessive, protective tenderness. When she wakes, he makes a demand. No more casual games or friends with benefits. He wants her to be his official woman, even if the world is falling apart. He refuses to wait another second, terrified of losing her to their dark circumstances. He vows to protect her, her company, and their unborn baby with his entire life. Elsewhere, Haru realizes the pen is actually a recording device filled with dangerous family secrets. It's a recording of his father plotting a betrayal against his own grandfather. This revelation changes everything. A son is hunting his father in a play for power. Does San know the truth? Haru reaches for his phone, ready to expose the darkness. But then he sees a photo of San and Yoonji, revealing a shocking, secret connection. Decades ago, San's uncle looked down on Yoonji's mother with nothing but pure, cold arrogance. He laughed at her dreams of starting a company, mocking her as if she were nothing. He hated her success and tried to crush her spirit at every single turn. Ruining her happiness was his favorite game, demanding she stay home and be silent. He only wanted her as a trophy for marriage and a tool for his legacy. That toxic history led to their end, a story she now tells the lawyer. She suspects Moon Sung-wook framed her and stole her business secrets for himself. He built his empire on her blood, using the Innocence Group to hide his crimes. Now, San is trapped in the same nightmare and desperately needs her help to win. Ready to cooperate, she offers every shred of intel she possesses to aid their cause. Despite her burning hatred for the president, she admits her knowledge has reached its limit. Wait, she recalls the vice chairman's study. A hidden CCTV might have captured something vital. Handing over the secret password, she prepares to finally vanish from this mess. The era of 𝓓𝓪𝓽𝓼 is over. She accepts that no desperate move can change destiny. Her only goal? Never crossing paths with a toxic man like Sung-wook ever again. As she turns to leave, the lawyer's voice stops her cold with a terrifying truth. The bombshell drops. Her own daughter is romantically entangled with the powerful vice chairman. Unbeknownst to them, a shadowy figure lurks nearby, capturing every word on her recorder. At the apartments, Yoonji and San discuss their future when a sudden ringtone shatters the air. It is Haru, bearing secrets so explosive they could tilt the scales of fate itself. That harmless pen? It is a disguised recorder, and the audio inside is pure poison. The recording predates their grandfather's tragic fall, hinting at a truth long buried in shadows. This evidence is San's salvation. Haru urgently sends a location, demanding an immediate secret meeting. Driven by hope, San reaches the rendezvous, desperate for answers about the mysterious recording device. He corners Haru immediately. Is the pen real? Was the phone call truly that significant? With a face carved from stone, Haru begins to unveil a nightmare of betrayal. His own father had cornered the grandfather, screaming threats to force a change in the will. Like a treasure hunter, Haru unscrews the pen to reveal a hidden universal serial bus drive. Grandfather had been playing a dangerous game, secretly recording every heated confrontation in silence. San reaches for the truth, but Haru pulls back. The atmosphere shifts to something chilling. There is one more thing. A heavy secret Haru must confess before the pen is released. The tension is suffocating. Haru finally voices the question that has been haunting his mind. Pointing at San's profile picture, he demands to know, "Is this girl truly your lover?" San confirms it without a second thought, but Haru's reaction is a violent explosion of emotion. Crack! He hurls the pen down, smashing San's only hope into a million jagged pieces. The air turns to ice. Haru sneers, asking if this so-called girlfriend is carrying a child. San nods, stunned. How could Haru possibly know such a private, life-altering secret? Then comes the killing blow. That child, it belongs to Haru. He and Yoonji were intimate. Betrayal is everywhere. The spy recording Luna's mother was an agent sent by San's own uncle. She delivers the audio and the stolen code. The president realizes his crimes are finally exposed. The secrets of the study must stay buried forever. He vows to destroy that CCTV footage. Driven by desperation, he races toward the apartments to erase the digital evidence of his sins. He plots to lure San away, knowing his nephew is trapped under strict house arrest. Luck is on his side. He watches from the shadows as San leaves the residence unprotected. Using a spare key, the president infiltrates the home, hunting for the camera like a predator. The ceiling is empty. He curses, his eyes darting around the room in a frantic search. There, cleverly hidden within the pages of a book, strapped behind the desk with wires. He reaches for the hard drive, ready to crush the truth between his trembling fingers. But a shadow looms. Yoonji emerges, a sharp blade glinting in her hand as she strikes. Back at the meeting, Haru screams his truth. The baby Yoonji carries isn't San's, it is his. San's mind races through a storm of doubt. Regardless of the lies, he must fix this. Picking up the ruins of the pen, San reveals Yoonji's own doubts about the child's father. He proposes a calm discussion. Then, he drops a question. Did Haru meet her via an app? Haru admits it. He hired her from a girlfriend-for-hire service for his web investigation. Haru fumes over the deception. A month of fake smiles and a stolen name, Yoonji. San cuts him off. Listen carefully, he warns. The truth about the rental girl is tragic. He reveals her fall from grace. The former heiress was forced into this desperate survival. Their fathers were the monsters. They crushed her world and built theirs on her ruins. San admits the shame. He chose a secret affair because his uncle's shadows were suffocating. Haru is paralyzed by the truth. But San continues, exposing the devil in their blood. To sever their bond, his uncle orchestrated a lethal hit-and-run against the innocent Yoonji. Drowning in medical debt, she sold her heart as a rental girlfriend just to survive. Misunderstandings tore them apart. Then, a cold arrest separated San from his only love. In that void, while San was hunted, Haru finally found the broken girl. San pleads for reason. Their petty fight is nothing compared to the monster watching them. The weight of this sin is heavy. The true architect is Haru's own father. San sees the singular malice. From Yoonji's suffering to their ruin, Munsang is the cause. While they speak, the predator strikes. Munsang is already inside San's home, hunting Yoonji. 1 hour earlier, Yoonji was dreaming. She was preparing a special meal for her protector. She touched the exquisite necklace, a parting gift from San, shimmering with hidden meaning. She wondered if she belonged in his world. What did this treasure truly signify? San had shared its soul. Her eyes reminded him of his late mother's gaze. It was a sacred heirloom, a promise of love given to his chosen one. Yoonji hesitated at the weight of it, but San's vow was clear. This is yours. When the war ended, they would have forever. He promised a lifetime of shared happiness. He pressed the jewel into her hand. Wait for me, he urged, seeking their peace. With a heart overflowing, Yoonji prayed. She watched him leave, her world finally warm. Alone in the kitchen, she pondered. Could the man she loves be a murderer? His kindness felt too pure. She refused to believe the blood on his hands. A message shattered the silence. Her clinic appointment was set for the next morning. The ultimate truth approached. She needed to know if his child was within her. If the test was positive, the lies must end. She had to confess to Haru. Her heart belongs to another. She cannot love him back. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. Expecting her lover, she rushes forth. But the air turns to ice at the door. A stranger's shadow looms. Meanwhile, the cousins are still grappling with family secrets. Haru's heart is breaking. Must my father pay for all these sins? He asks. He questions their cursed legacy. Are they all monsters born from the same greed? Back at the house, the hunt begins. Munsang stalks the halls while Yoonji hides. She lunges with a kitchen knife, but the villain's reflexes are cold and sharp. The blade only grazes his face. Yoonji stands her ground, eyes burning with fury. "Stay back or I'll kill you," she screams. He scoffs, lying about a simple book. The tension snaps. He recognizes her. "Ah, the toy my nephew is keeping," he sneers. He feigns a blessing for their love, but his eyes are searching for a weapon. He mocks her while reaching for a strike. He is a predator in a suit. A brutal, sudden blow. Yoonji reels back as the world dissolves into pain. He seizes the knife. "I'll fulfill my promise and take your eyes," he whispers. Yoonji gasps from the floor. "You're the one who destroyed my family," she cries. Munsang laughs at her pain. Her father's fall was destiny. He hated her mother. The cycle of vengeance is complete. Luna finds herself trapped in a nightmare. Trapped and desperate, she steals her resolve. With a sudden, violent movement, she slams her head forward. Seizing the chaos, Moon Soo-wook lunges for the blade. She strikes back with everything she has, but the metal misses barely. The blade bites into his hands instead. Enraged by the sting of her rebellion, his eyes burn with murderous intent. This is the end. He crushes her throat with his bare hands, the air vanishing as she screams San's name in her heart. As her vision fades, he whispers a chilling truth. He reveals the day her mother tried to escape his shadow. That rejection sparked a nightmare. He committed an unforgivable sin, a shadow that would follow Yoonji until her dying breath. "You are the living proof of that night," he sneers. Meanwhile, the tension between Haru and San reaches a breaking point. San scoffs, blaming the web of lies spun by their grandfather, their fathers, and even their own cursed bloodlines. This cycle of misery trapped Yoonji too. Haru's face contorts in fury, unable to handle the weight of the truth. "Who are you to judge?" Haru barks. He insists that a man like San has no right to stand by Yoonji's side. San remains cold as ice. "It's you who's disqualified," he retorts. The moment he learned the connection to the innocents, he chose to shoulder the burden. He didn't hide. He stood tall and took full responsibility for the past. He begged for her forgiveness and fought for a way out. But Haru, he was too busy nursing his own wounded ego. He never tried to truly see the real Yoonji. "If she could have leaned on you, she wouldn't have come to me. She chose the vice chairman because you failed her." Haru's frustration boils over into a desperate, petty accusation. He snarls that she only wants San's bank account and his powerful seat at the head of the Innocence Group. San shuts him down with a gaze that could kill. He knows the truth, and it is far deeper than money. When she confessed her pregnancy, San didn't flinch. He told her clearly, "I don't care who the father is." That is true love. He challenges Haru. "Would you step up even if that child was not your own flesh and blood?" Haru is struck dumb. He has no answer. Having won the battle of wills, San turns his back on his cousin. He leaves Haru in the dust. On the drive home, the weight of the conspiracy begins to press down on him. The pieces are fitting together. His uncle's hands are stained with his grandfather's blood. There is no doubt now. But the evidence is gone. The broken pen was his only ace, and now he is left empty-handed against the trial. 2 days left. The clock is ticking. Meanwhile, back in the darkness, Soo-wook tightens his lethal grip on Yoonji's neck. He whispers madness into her ear. "I remember when we first met. Your eyes were a deep, natural brown." He realizes her mother used blue lenses to mask the truth, a desperate attempt to hide the girl's true identity. He loosens his grip, a devil's grin forming. "Why fight me? Join me instead of that vice chairman." He offers her the world. She could finally take her rightful place as the princess of the Innocence Empire. "Become my daughter, not a nobody." Inside, Yoonji's mind races through the wreckage of her desperate, starving life. She remembers the struggle selling her heart as a girlfriend for hire just to survive another day on pennies. A tiny 20,000 won tip was her only joy. Her life hung by the thread of San's mercy. "Can you really give me back my life?" she asks. Soo-wook smirks, claiming her as his own blood and soul. But Yoonji's spirit will not break. She mocks his pathetic ego before striking back with a truth that shatters him. "You fool. I was wearing lenses when we met." His memory of her eyes was nothing but a delusion. She forces him to really look. Then, she drops the bombshell. "You are not my father. Not even close." She is the child of a foreign donor. Her mother chose solitude over a single second with a monster like him. His pride shatters. Blinded by rage, he raises the blade to end her existence once and for all until... San lunges into the path of the steel. The blade sinks deep into him, and the world turns to red. It is a race against time to the hospital. Yoonji collapses in tears as the doctors bar her from surgery. She prays to a god she never believed in. As the silence of the hospital swallows her, a memory awakens. 11-year-old San lived in a house of terror, trembling under the shadow of his father's violent rage. He watched his mother suffer through the blows, a victim of a man who should have been her protector. Yet, she always smiled through the pain, calling the bruises mere mistakes that adults make when they are tired. "He loves us, San," she would lie. But even as a little boy, San could see the poison behind words. He knew the truth. He was her only shield, the only one who could stop the cycle of blood. The nightmare returns. San's father, consumed by a demonic rage, plunges his family into a terrifying hell as Little San, tears blurring his vision, begs his father to drop the blade. His desperate cries for mercy are ignored. The cold steel strikes his mother, and San wakes up screaming from that horrifying memory. In the hospital, his heart hammers against his ribs. Beside him, Luna, his light in the darkness, is sobbing with relief to see him awake. Desperate for answers, San struggles to recall the events before his collapse. He asks Luna about the carnage and where his treacherous uncle has hidden himself. Luna's voice trembles. She explains that the uncle fled in terror after accidentally stabbing San instead of her. She reveals how she saved him, calling the emergency medics just in time to prevent his death. The doctors stitched his wounds, but he remained in a coma for 2 agonizing days from blood loss. Drowning in guilt for scaring her, San apologizes, but Luna insists he focus only on surviving his wounds. He questions why his uncle was there, waving a knife at his woman in their own home. Suddenly, a powerful woman enters, Kim Gon, former CEO of 𝓓𝓪𝓽𝓲𝓷𝓰 and Luna's influential mother. She's ready to fight for San, revealing she found evidence that could finally shatter the lies against him. It is the day of destiny. The courtroom sits in silence as the judge demands San's presence. But San is still recovering. His uncle smirks, hiding his vile satisfaction behind a mask of mourning. He plots to corner San and Luna once the trial is delayed, but his arrogance is premature. Just as the judge prepares to adjourn, the doors burst open. San enters, apologizing for the dramatic delay. The uncle's face turns ashen. He glares at Kim Gon, wondering how she could possibly be here. Meanwhile, at the clinic, Luna's heart races as she prays for San's victory in the legal war. The doctors call her name, forcing her to focus on her own health amidst the swirling chaos. Back in the courtroom, a sharp-eyed man stands. He is the attorney who will change everything. He presents the defense with absolute confidence, claiming they have proof that San is completely innocent. The accusation that San killed his own grandfather is a lie. All eyes turn toward the screen. A video from that fateful day plays. A shocking truth emerges about the day San lost his father. The monster intentionally delayed the ambulance, heartlessly watching them suffer while casually reading a book. The courtroom erupts. Murmurs of disbelief fill the air as the uncle's true nature is exposed. Seizing the momentum, San's lawyer reveals they found the exact book where the secret camera was hidden. Even worse, they found Moon Sang-wook's fingerprints all over pages 20 to 60 of that book. The attorney submits the footage and the physical evidence, dealing a devastating blow to the prosecution. The uncle screams in denial, claiming the father was already dead when he arrived at the scene. The judge intervenes, noting that this past tragedy doesn't prove who killed the chairman in the present. He asks San if there is any more evidence, and the room falls into a heavy, hopeless silence. Suddenly, a determined voice cuts through the tension. It's Haru, making an unexpected entrance. Shockwaves ripple through the room as Haru steps forward to deliver the final killing blow. He carries a secret recording the absolute truth regarding the innocent chairman's tragic passing. Haru presents a USB, revealing the dark conversation that took place on the vice chairman's big day. As the recording begins, the hidden shadow of the vice chairman's inauguration is finally brought to light. Moon Sang-wook is heard demanding to know if San will inherit the company's throne. The chairman's response is a shock. He refuses, offering his son only a small subsidiary instead. Infuriated by the perceived betrayal, the uncle's voice drips with venom as he refuses to back down. He shouts that he has sacrificed too much to let a brat like San take his crown. In a terrifying twist, he reveals he has already hired a professional killer to end the debate. He hints that the assassin is waiting either in the office or at the grand inauguration ceremony. The recording ends with a chilling ultimatum that freezes the blood of everyone in the courtroom. A choice between the chairman's own life or the bright future of his young, beloved heir. The chairman's fury explodes, questioning if Moon Sang-wook's greed has truly eclipsed his loyalty to his own blood. With chilling cruelty, he demands his own father jump from the rooftop to ensure San's survival. 30 minutes. That's all the life he grants the old man, dictating a final, forced will. After a brutal confrontation, San's life hangs by a thread. The courtroom erupts in a storm of disbelief. Shockwaves ripple through the crowd as the recording plays. The judge, recognizing the gravity of this evidence, rules to admit the recording as a smoking gun. It's the ultimate turning point for the case. Immediately, Moon-sung turns on his own son, Haru, cursing him for delivering the USB to the court. He rains down insults on Haru for betraying his father, while San stands paralyzed by the revelation. San is frozen in horror. The chilling truth is finally out. His own uncle destroyed his entire family. It's a soul-crushing realization. He spent years seeking approval from the monster who murdered his father. The man he idolized was nothing more than a wolf in sheep's clothing, but justice is coming. Suddenly, the tides of fate turn. San is declared innocent and granted a miraculous retrial for his past. The chains of a false assassination charge are finally broken. Meanwhile, Moon Soo-wook's empire crumbles. The villain now rots behind bars, desperately hunting for a loophole to escape his well-deserved fate. His lawyer delivers the crushing blow. The evidence is absolute. Proving his innocence is now an impossible dream. There is no way to reduce his sentence. He is trapped in a cage of his own making. To make matters worse, new charges of housebreaking and assault pile up, sealing his dark destiny forever. Luna reveals she reported the uncle herself. She couldn't let that monster walk free after what he did. She confesses her terror for San's safety. He praises her bravery. The uncle must pay for every sin. He needs to be held accountable, San declares, his heart swelling with gratitude for her fierce protection. Curious about the evidence, she asks for details. San reveals the secret hidden within his grandfather's pen. It was a recording device all along. Then, he asks about the secret she's been hiding in her bag. Luna pulls out a fateful envelope. It's the ultrasound scan confirming the life growing inside her. With a trembling voice and eyes full of fear, she asks the heavy question, should I terminate it? She lists every reason to run away, but San has only one question for his broken partner. Are you sure you want to keep the baby? He knows she's plagued by doubts about the paternity. She nods, confessing that overwhelming fear is the only thing driving her towards such a dark choice. She admits she can barely survive on her own, let alone raise a child in this cruel world. But San remains unshaken. His obsession has transformed into a fierce, protective determination to be a father. He implores her to be honest about her heart's desire, putting his own feelings aside for her sake. Memories of the doctor's plea for a guardian flood her mind, drowning her in a sea of reality. The crushing weight of her pregnancy hits like a ton of bricks, alongside bitter regret for past mistakes. Initially fueled by a desire to escape San, her perspective shifts toward the innocent life within her. She worries the child will suffer her fate bullied for her blue eyes and lacking a father's shadow. When he asks again, she responds with a shattered heart, claiming she has no right to be a mother. She admits that instead of happiness, she only felt a suffocating dread about her own bleak future. I was only thinking of myself, she sobs, but San refuses to let her drown in self-loathing. He reassures her that anyone would feel that same paralyzing fear in such a desperate situation. I'm a coward, she cries, confessing she once hoped the pregnancy would simply disappear on its own. Despite her neglect and the chaos of her life, the baby didn't just survive, it fought to stay. Emotions surge like a tidal wave as she collapses into San's warm, steady embrace, finally letting go. He consoles her, promising she will never have to face the hospital or this world alone again. With newfound tenderness, he suggests they walk this treacherous path together, learning one step at a time. Luna remains skeptical, certain he will eventually regret choosing a woman as broken as her. But San stands firm, his gaze filled with a mature resolve. Their contract has become something far deeper. Since the baby is hers, he swears it's his duty now. He vows to protect them both and... it's incredible to watch. The once arrogant heir has transformed into a devoted man, overflowing with responsible warmth. Back in the bedroom, he tenderly asks if she's recovering, and she gives a soft nod. Yet, he still play fights with her, sensing the hidden anxiety she tries so hard to mask. To break the tension, he starts tickling her until she giggles. Soon, exhaustion hits, and San falls asleep. As he enters a deep slumber, Luna watches him. She leans in, mesmerized by his peaceful, handsome face. She thinks of the brutal trial and his grueling schedule, realizing he's pushing himself to the absolute limit. She stays silent, her heart aching with a mix of deep gratitude and fear for his safety. Staring at San, her mind flashes back to that blood-stained day when he was stabbed and nearly lost. The terror of the hospital still haunts her. She remembers the agonizing wait after his successful surgery. The fear of him never waking up is etched into her soul. She can't forget that nightmare. Suddenly, her phone buzzes with calls from Haru. She hesitates, wondering if it's about their webtoon project. But work feels wrong now, not while her secret pregnancy and San's fragile life hang in the balance. Haru won't stop, though. When she finally answers, the news catches her completely off guard. He's finished the webtoon. He needs her final input before they hit the submit button today. Torn between her professional dream and her dying lover, Luna realizes she must review the work. She explains she's trapped at the hospital, her voice trembling. She can't leave San's side for anything. Haru, oblivious to the truth, asks who's hurt. When she whispers San, his voice turns to ice. Haru rushes to the hospital instantly. When he bursts in, the sight of his cousin nearly breaks him. Seeing the powerful, arrogant San lying there motionless is a shock that rattles Haru's entire world. The reality of San's sacrifice hits hard. Luna keeps the details vague, desperately needing some privacy. Sensing the heavy atmosphere, Haru suggests they step out into the courtyard to speak properly. Luna asks if they were just classmates, but Haru has a much darker, deeper secret to share. He spins a tale of their complex bond, revealing how he was always the family's black sheep. Consistently labeled as a problem child, he was the pathetic kid no one believed in. To everyone else, he was a failure. But San was the only light who stood by him. Without San's protection, he wouldn't have survived that hell, let alone become the artist he is now. Then comes the bombshell. San was actually with him on the night of that tragic accident. Luna's heart stops. She mentally rewinds to that fateful day, the pieces of destiny finally aligning. Suspicion flares in her eyes. She asks if Haru was the shadow benefactor who gave San evidence. Haru nods. He used a secret recording pen his grandfather left behind to capture the truth. He dismisses it as useless now, then casually drops a bomb about her secret pregnancy. He asks if she's hiding it because she isn't sure if San is the real father. Before she can respond, he forces her to confront a terrifying vision of the future. If San dies or ends up a criminal, he'll lose his empire and rot in a cell. Suddenly, Haru proposes a new life. "Stay with me instead," he whispers, eyes burning with obsession. He paints a dream of fame and a luxurious life for her and the baby together. But Luna doesn't flinch. Her heart belongs to San. She'll never abandon the man she loves. She regrets the secrets and the arguments. Their final fight haunts her like a bitter ghost. She won't make the same mistake twice. She'll be his shield, just as he was always hers. Seeing her resolve, Haru backs down gracefully, shifting the conversation back to their webtoon business. He promises to email the files. But as he turns to leave, he makes one final request. He asks for a last hug, and she grants it. But the manipulation isn't over yet. He leans in, begging for one more favor. He tells her not to attend the trial. He claims he wants to shield her from the darkness, but his eyes hide a terrifying secret. San finally pours his heart out, confessing his deep obsession despite the odds. Luna feels guilty, fearing she's failed him. But San opens his eyes, smiling softly. "Forget the world today," he whispers. Luna freezes, heart racing at his gentle gaze. She barely manages a greeting. Later, Luna visits her psychiatrist at the Yasan clinic. Dr. Yu smiles. "Your life has changed so much, especially now that you're pregnant." Luna's eyes sharpen. She's decided to quit her meds to protect her unborn child. Dr. Yu pauses. Stopping medication so suddenly is a dangerous game for any mother. Pregnancy demands caution, but the shock to her system could be even worse. Facing the truth is a battlefield, he warns, filled with obstacles you must conquer. But Luna is unwavering. Her child's safety is the only thing that matters now. Seeing her resolve, the doctor nods. "Very well. Let's protect this life together." With a grateful bow, Luna leaves, ready to embrace her new role as a mother. Meanwhile, the villain Moon receives 30 years. San ascends as the new powerful chairman. Our contract couple now shares a penthouse, but their hearts aren't faking it anymore. Luna has finally achieved her dream, debuting as a professional webtoon writer at last. San presents her award with a proud smile. "My writer's first official trophy," he teases. Luna's heart swells. She's no longer a girl surviving. She's an artist being recognized. "Beef barbecue on me tonight," she cheers, basking in the glow of their success. But the victory is bittersweet. Her ex-boyfriend just snatched the grand prize award instead. Is he invading my world too? She wonders, the past threatening her perfect present. She pushes the doubt aside, though a lingering guilt for Haru still haunts her heart. At dinner, San is distant. He stares into the void, ignoring the expensive meal. "Is the food bad?" Luna asks. San shakes his head, his eyes full of mystery. "Let's walk," he suggests suddenly. Under the stars, Luna begins to pour her heart out. "I thought the 130th floor meant happiness," she admits, "the peak of the world." She squeezes his hand. "But happiness isn't this apartment. It's standing here with you. Everything is breathtaking because he's there." San stops, looking at her with intense devotion. Suddenly, he kneels. A diamond sparkles under the city lights as he asks for forever. "I want to do this right," he vows, "as your husband and the father of our child." Luna cries out in joy, throwing her arms around him. Their contract is officially over. The next day, Chairman San takes the stage, ready to burn the old company down. Before the cameras, he exposes the corruption that poisoned their society for so long. He confesses to the manipulated studies. The world gasps as the truth is finally revealed. They destroyed rivals like Remark with lies, building their empire on broken lives and deceit. The room explodes in chaos, but San stands tall, ready to pay for every sin. To atone, he returns the company's stolen rights to Luna's mother, the rightful president. Luna drinks with her mom, stunned. "Why didn't you tell me you were working together?" Her mother laughs. "Your son-in-law was supposed to tell you. He wanted to surprise you." Luna pouts, remembering his vague hints. Her rich boyfriend was playing 4D chess again. Her mother keeps calling him son-in-law, making Luna realize the wedding is actually happening. The stress of planning a high-society wedding starts to hit her like a freight train. Mother and daughter share a rare, tender moment, healing the scars of their past. Luna mentions San's uncle, wondering if the family tree holds even more hidden secrets. Her mother's gaze turns sharp. "Look in the mirror," she warns. "Your eyes tell the story." Suddenly, a call from her son brings a new wave of excitement to the family. No one would dare miss this event. Time flies, and Luna's long-awaited wedding day has finally dawned. Yet, the atmosphere feels like a surreal dream. Luna can barely believe it. Is this really her happy ending? A shadow of doubt lingers. Does she deserve this? Then, she remembers a heartfelt conversation she had with Haru. He offered his warmest blessings, promising to pour his soul into his art while she found her ultimate joy. As the ceremony begins, a poignant flashback of their emotional exchange flashes through her mind once more. Tension rises until San appears. Her dashing husband-to-be is ready to lead her down the aisle. During this tender walk, Luna's brother is stunned. They are entering without a host or even an officiant. It is an unconventional entrance, but their mother watches with tears of pure joy welling in her eyes. She watches her precious daughter walk toward a brand new destiny, leaving the pain of the past behind. Amidst the vows, they can no longer restrain their passion, sealing their love with a heart-stopping kiss. They are officially husband and wife. Meanwhile, Dr. Yu reflects on the heavy burdens of his medical career. After many trials, he steps back, vowing to silently support Luna's happiness from the shadows of her life. 1 year later, Luna is trembling with anticipation, waiting for a call that will change their world forever. While she waits, San is busy on daddy duty, gently rocking their adorable little bundle of joy, Yui. Just as Yui drifts off, the doorbell rings. Luna rushes out to retrieve a long-awaited mystery package. With the baby finally sound asleep, Luna decides it is the perfect moment to uncover what is inside. But the moment they reach for it, Yui wakes up, her tiny cries echoing through their peaceful home. Through the chaos, they open the envelope. The paternity test is here, confirming San is the biological father. At last, Luna escapes her dark past, leaving behind toxic habits and the ghost of her former life. Gone is the toxic ex and the crumbling luxury. She found true salvation in San, her ultimate protector. From a mere client to her forever partner, they navigated a maze of destiny to find true love. Their arduous journey concludes here. If this heart-fluttering ending moved you, please let us know your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe for more epic manhwa recaps. Until next time, stay tuned and farewell.